Woke up this morning to Mr. MC1 hosting a space covering the VeveVerse that I guess is a continuation from yesterday. A whole lot was said. This is about a 3-hour space, and I recorded majority of it. I will have a link below where you can go to Twitter and hear the whole thing. But I'm going to go ahead and play what I had recorded earlier. So yeah. But before I do that, I want to go over a couple things that I heard in the space, and I want to talk about it, discuss it. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below and what you think, what you see, and what you want to hear from VeVe. So let's get into it. So as I'm pulling my eyes apart this morning and trying to listen to this space, I believe he said something about this is a browser-based application that you can take your collectibles and move them over to other browsers, and that really got me thinking, could I actually make movies and videos doing that, interacting with other things that are on the web? I'm not really sure, but I thought it was very interesting. So as you're creating things in the VeveVerse, the awesome thing that you're able to do is upload skins. So you can take a picture of something and upload it and put it over whatever you've built. So if you're making a bookcase, you can take a picture of some wood or your bookcase at the house and upload that bad boy on there and put it over what you just built. So the sky is the limit. If you want to put down a circle and take a picture of the pizza you had, maybe this is the new line of Facebook/Twitter /X that is people posting their food. Now they're going to be posting their stuff in the VeveVerse. So now let's talk MCP. What kind of role is this going to play in the VeveVerse? For me, I'd like to see it to where you could not only use those in the app, but in the VeveVerse to buy special limited edition lamps, or say you've got the Vaultaholics and people can vote on something that they've made and created that they could sell eventually on VeVe, which I think would be a great incentive to really start getting into this app and really start driving people to innovate and do things. But if you have those competitions like that where it actually makes it on the app with all these big IPs, I think that'd be awesome. Or they could make another VeVe 2.0 or VeVe Collector's Edition app where people that get a lot of volume or downloads could have that opportunity to sell those things in another app or in VeVe. So we probably need to keep VeVe as in big IP and then come up with another app to sell collectibles, and maybe it's just going to be in the VeveVerse and you'll be able to do it there. But I thought that'd be a really cool idea. One of the really neat things that you're able to do in the VeveVerse is you're able to bring in your Ready Player Me character right off the rip into here, and they were talking about it, and that just really opened my eyes to what is possible and what other collectibles in the future that we'll be able to bring in. I know we seen a long time ago, well, it seems like a long time ago, that they had fiches floating around in there. So the interoperability of this is just going to be incredible, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. Since we're going to be building all kinds of crazy stuff, what I want to see is a Mario Kart style racing game where you could probably wager Omi or just use Omi to enter the tournament, and whoever's hosting it could give up a collectible for a prize. That would be a huge incentive for builders to make crazy things. You could take like a Todd, start from the bottom and build a track all the way to the top. Whoever gets there first wins the prize. I mean, it's really unlimited what you can do and the possibilities. But like I said, I'd like to see a Mario Kart where you can throw things at each other to slow people down and have those tournaments. And I think that in itself would bring huge adoption to VeveVerse. One of the things you're able to do is leave a note by your collectible, and I'm sure you can write on there the mint number. I haven't heard anybody talk about mint numbers being displayed in the VeveVerse yet, but I guess that's one way you could do it, is leaving a note by it. So for me, what I'll probably do is build a stand with a note on there saying my collectible, the day I got it, and if I had a memorable moment, like, you know, back in the day when I first got in the app, me and all the guys at work would take break at the same time when the drop was happening, and if one of us got it, you know, we'd all cheer and make fun of the other person that didn't. So you could leave a story like that, or if you and your dad or family member have been building the VeveVerse for a while, you know, you can leave a note in case something happens to them in the future. It's something y'all can look back on, how you two got this drop or how y'all built this and, you know, establish, you know, by XYZ. So I thought that was pretty cool. You're able to leave notes next to your collectible. What is it you would do next to yours? So like, I have a super funny story, and just for the sake of time, I'm not going to tell it. But for the Walt statue, I landed on drop, and it's freaking hilarious how I got it. But for me, I'm definitely going to be leaving that note next to my Walt. So right now it doesn't sound like you're able to walk to your friend's VeveVerse. You'll have to go via link. So once you have that link, you can go in there anytime and see what they're doing and progressing, I believe is the way I understand it. Or they can just show you how to do stuff. So I'm sure in the future you'll be able to go through portals and things like that, but right now it's just a link. So Thor was brought up, and how in the animated version, the lightning coming off of it, you can change the colors and brightness and contrast, I believe, to make cooler looking lightning, if that makes sense. But yeah, they said it looks way better in the VeveVerse and versus the app, and I'm wondering if you can take the lightning and just cut that part off and then maybe make a cloud to put in the sky and have lightning coming out of it. That would be pretty cool. But I hadn't heard anything about deleting certain parts of collectibles, but I'm gonna have to ask that question. So in the VeveVerse, if you have one collectible, you can only put one collectible down. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what does that make? What are you going with that? Well, in McFarlane's VeveVerse, as long as you have a collectible, you can put down multiples of them. So it's kind of It is kind of false flexing in the McFarlane verse, if you ask me, if people are going to be running around seeing tons of those. Because, I mean, could you imagine if somebody had 1,000 Walts down on the floor or 1,000 Secret Rare Spider-Mans? You'd be like, dang, this dude's big pimping. But in the VeveVerse, you got to flex what you got. So right now, the VeveVerse is only for PC and the Oculus. That is correct. You can get in the Oculus and see this how it is supposed to be seen. Now, however, I do want to shout out Crypto Crayon here, and they said if Gavinci posters can be animated, I'm sure comic book covers are next. And I want to play this video because this is really showing the power of what the Oculus VR glasses and really where the future of VV and just the whole metaverse and digital collectibles as himself is going. Now, as we move along, can you imagine like your friends, so like we're 20 years ahead, and like a pair of sunglasses is what your Oculus is going to look like, right? It's not going to be this big bulky thing. It's going to be nothing like that at all whatsoever. But can you imagine when you walk in a comic book store or a restaurant or somebody's home, this is how they're going to have their stuff displayed here. And this is a great, absolutely wonderful video that I need to save. So whenever I explain stuff about VV in the future and the possibilities, this is probably the best video I've seen to really show it off. And I feel like geo-locked LAN is going to be a big selling point in the future. I don't know how that's going to work, but if you can own that real estate in front of Walmart or certain properties, or even if that's going to be possible, you can sell advertisements for that area. But let's be real, in the future, we're probably not going to be going outside as much, because when you got all this kinds of cool, crazy stuff here, why are you going to be leaving your house? Now, think about like racing games or fitness and stuff like that for people. This is going to be awesome because you can have a trainer right beside you at all times, live, and able to do all that good stuff. So shout out to Crypto Crayon for making this video. This is absolutely wonderful and truly showing the power of VV and where things are going to be going. Well, that is pretty much everything I gathered from listening to the space. I'm about to play it, but before I do, the last thing I really have that I thought about is how people are going to be selling in the VeveVerse. Are you able to make your shop and then display comics and then put a price on all of them, and people can walk up and click it with a, one click of a button and use Omi to do it? Is it going to be gems? Is it going to be ETH? What is that going to look like? I hadn't heard any talks about it at all whatsoever, but I know it's going to be coming. It's inevitable because there's going to be other people out there doing that kind of stuff, and if they don't, then they're going to get passed. So we know they've talked about it in the past. I just hadn't heard any kind of talks in this space, but that's one thing on my mind I do look forward to hearing. And for me personally, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is setting up like haunted houses. And once I get all that built and displayed out and it's phenomenal and you start getting famous for your attractions and theme parks and all that, you'll be able to rent those collectibles out and, have people put that down in their living room, and then, or just set it out in the field and walk through and get scared on Halloween and just see different, seasonal things that you could lay out as well. So that's where a lot of the big future for me for VV and the VeveVerse and where all this stuff's going. And everybody in the community has been great lately. It's nice to finally start seeing things going. But without further ado, here's the space.
And then you can pick the intensity of lightning, you pick the color of the lightning, you can, and those are all controllable factors in that box. And so, you know that whoever has designed this collectible to make it compatible with VeveVerse has spent, a good amount of time to figure out what is it that they want to make easily animatable, or, easily kind of different. So, your Thor could be different from, how it displays than my Thor. I might choose to display it in a, bigger format with higher intensity of lightning versus lower. Really amazing. I mean, this is, and then, there's a different, you know, animation for, or not, I shouldn't use the word animation, different effect, display effect for other collectibles. And they're working on it still. So, uh, not all of them are. But my sense is, there's probably the first phase where they'll go and do a bunch of stuff and bring it in, and then maybe they'll look to users and get feedback and upgrade. There's no reason why they can't upgrade it.
What about did have you tried VR? Is VR available to the beta testers?
Yeah, yes. I haven't tried it, but it is available. My Oculus broke, man. Like freaking one fine day, just stopped. Freaking, it went dark. Then I started doing shit to it, and then it just wouldn't even light wouldn't come on. And I've just hesitated to buy one because there's the Quest. The next version of Quest is coming out this fall. Like as far as to me, that's like September, October. Like, why do I want the old version for freaking 1 month? So anyway, but yeah, somebody has tried it too, to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, that's the whole purpose, man. But Naked Whale, that's an easy question. That's public information because Dan used the Oculus Quest to do a demo in in San Diego Comic Con, and that was not just some freaking plug and play. He was actually in his VeveVerse pad. You know, like when you put on the Oculus, you're not seeing a demo inside the Oculus, dude. Like you're in a live environment doing shit, and Dan did that. So I mean, that the answer to that is yes.
You
And
see,
everybody's seen it in San Diego, and there's a demo of it too, right? Like video of it and stuff. So, yeah,
I'm just wondering about you started, but I was waiting for you to talk about the social aspects a bit more. But the idea of having an Oculus on and sitting in a room, essentially sitting in a room with, or a space, Twitter space, will be in the VeveVerse with people. I'll be Fat Tony. I don't know what the hell you're going to be, but we're all going to be sitting there around on your massive sofa. I've seen video of your massive sofa, Sam. Plenty of space, and with is that something that you think is beta testing now, or is that not quite there? What about
all up and running? All up and running, man. It's like the social part is good to go, man. Already, like at least I don't know what else they're working on for the social part. That like every single use case I can think of exists.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, I went in, invited my friends. Rolly and Metaverse Life came in. I was chatting with them with voice, and I could control the voice. I could set, like mute this, that, and the other, do whatever you want to. Saw them both in their living room, so whatever was on their screen was showing up on one side, so I can actually see them. I can see their actual faces and bodies and whatever, on one side, and then in the main screen you can also see the avatars and what they're doing and how they're walking and interacting and stuff, so you can see both versions of it. You can bring in a whiteboard and start writing stuff. You can drop a screen into while all the other things are going on, you can drop one more screen and run something on a different browser and show it in there. So theoretically, I pulled up Netflix and ran like 10 seconds of Netflix for really an F1 kind of thing just to test it out. And it came through, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sanjay, look, I hate to leave you up on your own, but I can see there are plenty of people that are quite happy to come up. They're quite capable of coming up, shall I say? But I've got to say it's cool because they keep on trying to get through to me, so I've got to shut them up. And It's my mother, and I know she'll just go on and keep ringing me until I take the call. So I'm gonna make that call. But thanks for the space, and sorry to leave you on your own. Come on, guys.
No worries. Hey, if anybody else wants to come up and chat, hit the speaker button. I just wanted to do a quick space this morning. I don't know how many people got Tales of Space yesterday, but just an epic space. Okay, Millie's coming up. Hey, Millie.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Good. What do you think of the space yesterday, bro?
Really good, man. I was kind of with them on the looking back and remembering, laughing and joking about what it could be like,
Yeah.
and especially with the Vaultaholics when people started realizing, yeah, this could really be a job for you guys, Some people,
Yeah, Workaholics is a real job.
yeah,
It's a real
like
job.
that's
You can build
insane.
someone a pack
That is
and sell it.
absolutely insane.
Yeah. Oh, ebook is coming up too, man. Let's get him up
Oh
here
yeah,
too.
I
But
gotta talk to
I'm
Boo.
really
Yeah, go ahead, Sanjay.
amazing freaking. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
man. It's beautiful. Hey, Boogie, how's it going, man?
Yo, what up? What up, Sanjay? What up? What up? Oh, Millie. What up, fam? Good
Hey,
morning.
Boogie.
What up? What up? Yo, Millie. Sanjay, I don't know if we spoke about it, but Millie, remember what happened at Decon? You wasn't there, but you everywhere. Remember?
Yeah.
So, can you imagine walking around and you can actually have like you just pulling up on somebody with the you know what I mean? Like it. You remember what we was talking
And
about? Like
yeah, and
so they're talking.
Sanjay, for context, I've been making this joke with Boogie, right? Because we all had issues with Vivi and certain things that were going on or taking too long and blah blah blah. And I said I have when I talk to Boogie, because me and him talk on the side sometimes too, and there like all the worries that we all carry like a burden on our shoulders were absolutely gone after eBoogie got to talk to some of these devs and see what was going on. He came back to space and was just like, you guys gotta relax, just wait, just have patience. And that's why he got so mad when people continue with the day-to-day crying about things. He's like, you guys don't even understand what's happening. And from then, I rested a bit easier because I was like, Boogie doesn't lie. And he is a changed man. So either it's David Yu's eyes or he heard something there that makes a lot of sense. And
Bro,
that's what it was.
Millie, I don't know what it was a combination of that. The dev, he listen. My he just told my wifey everything, bro. He was just like, yeah, y'all come over here, bro. No lie, he was hooking us up, and I'm telling you, even what they're doing right now, there's more to it. There's more. Like they said, the stuff that they said is not even the stuff that some of us got to see. Like if you got to talk to the people and they wanted to talk to you for real, like, just be a good person. Like, yeah, it's like a fucking kid, like, honestly, for me, is dope, right? If I was a kid, this shit is like the ultimate, like, playland.
Yeah,
So,
dude. Mhm.
like, they're building right now. That's just the building aspect, right? And then, like you said, there's items and things that they're gonna buy, right? So, the game is just being able to play and create and to have the IP to make it familiar for the people, the atmosphere to look relatable. Because, like the thing with the open seas, I don't knock it. There's art there, but it's not, you know, IP that like dime. It is IP, but it's not, what we know. It's not. It's not
Exactly.
culture so heavy. Some have, but but when I really thought about it, like I thought about the excitement, and right now I was listening to Sanjay talk about it again, and I was like, damn, like that. So what they said, I didn't even know because they didn't show me that portion or anything. but it's the things, like the things that you buy, like it's it's really what it is. Like you're gonna be able to do shit with it, like every fucking thing. Like
Yeah, man, the spatial, when you look at spatial, right? The immersiveness is just as good as spatial, the avatar, the all that stuff. But the lighting, superior to spatial, way superior to spatial, the ease of use of lighting and this and that. And I know, there'll always be some fodder who'll say, oh, but you can do that in spatial. Yeah, but you need a fucking developer and somebody to go more intricate to do that. In VeveVerse, it's so easy. They've made it super easy, and it's two layered. There's some stuff that it's just they've created as functionality, putting a light anywhere, turning the color of the light, style of light. Like literally, if you put a painting on the wall and you want to flash a light on the middle of the painting, you can do that. If you want to put a diffuse lighting across the whole painting, you can do that. You can select the dimness, the brightness, you can put it below, you can pick the angle. And that's just something static on the wall.
Andre, do you realize what some of these kids are gonna fucking do when they like?
Yeah, dude.
This shit is going to be. It's a fucking whole digital art. You're gonna be able to do. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. You can like literally you can make your floor look like rose petals, man. You're walking on rose petals kind of thing. It is nuts. And you know what, Ibugi? The other aspect of this, which I think is absolutely way better than any other fucking metaverse platform, better than Meta, better than VR chat, way better than VR chat, is the social aspect of VeveVerse. I'm telling you, that's the number one thing that blew me away. Because even in spatial, right, when you log in on a desktop, same fucking laptop that I have, I go in, when you want to see the other person, it's just that tiny circle in which you can see what that guy's computer front camera is doing. It's so small, and it's not like really visual, and it's not great. So it's more about just the avatar. You can see the avatar and what the avatar is doing, right? In spatial. In this one, you can do both. And remember, the people who come into all of these metaverses, no matter which freaking metaverse it is, there's going to be more people playing in 2D till they get, convinced to go get an Oculus and stuff. So it's more important for them to also see what the other person, the camera feed is doing. And that's beautiful. And the fact that you can talk by voice, the fact that you can chat, the fact that you can leave messages, you can do whiteboard. Hey, Kaki, how you doing, brother? I didn't mean to ignore you, brother. Just
No. Keep going. You ain't ignoring me, bro. This is why I'm in the space, is to listen to this shit right here. Carry on.
dude, that just if anybody else wants to come up and chat, do so. But that
Sanjay,
social aspect is stunning.
that's what it is. That's what it is. But this is what the kids are doing, right? And it's so outdated. I'm gonna keep it real. To throw a headset on and just play, or you have to buy mad shit to, like show you, like if you just log in and your webcam, most computers got the cam built in now, so it's just turn it on, go, and it's active like that.
Yeah.
And you get the bill. You get the, oh no, come over here, and you seeing your homie. You doing whatever you got. That I'm telling you, that these kids are gonna go crazy. Like it's game over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. Hey, Queen Vivi, how's it going?
Hey, Sanjay. I just had a quick question. I don't know, maybe you guys mentioned it, but do you guys have any access to accessories, or are there built-in accessories or anything like that?
Yes, can't talk about it, but there is.
Okay, good to know.
They did say in the space they have like these Lego type
Yeah,
pieces that
I
you
heard
can
that, but I'm not
use to
doing.
build stuff out.
I don't know if I mean, I'm looking for like a nice. I don't know how I'm gonna do a cow. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I was talking about.
I
Like,
don't know if I could talk about that.
It's not yet at the point where you dream it and it already exists, the accessory, but eventually you probably get there, right? But they have accessories and shit. So
But there are some currently in there. Okay,
yep, yep,
thanks.
yep. Yeah, go ahead, Kanki.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Did y'all have access to these things?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, is the access to these um, to the point where there's no need to? Because I feel like this will be like the perfect um, way to spend MCP points, or even own it or
Yeah.
something like that. Will
Yeah.
that is that enough out there to where
Mm-hmm.
people are not
Yeah.
going to want to use their MCP points or feel the need to use their MCP points? Or
It just depends on how much they make. Like, look, there's certain amount that's going to be free that anybody can do, and there's some
right,
amount they could, like, for example, they may come up with, like, and this is just me totally speculating, right? Spitballing with you. If they come up with like a special Batman DC wallpaper, right? So in the room that you have, if you have like this foil DC wallpaper, right? It's like a silver foil or gold foil wallpaper, black and gold or whatever it is,
that would be dope.
and polished black, with the shiny gold kind of thing, and you have to pay like 10,000 omi for it. Fuck yeah, I'll pay 10,000 omi for it. Why would I not do it? You know what I mean? Like I can go with a white wall and with the patterned wall, but if I'm able to get like somebody's built like a custom thing, and I think it's not just about accessories from the company, right? So think about it this way: if the Vaultaholics were to build you a vault, right, and you pay them, right, for the vault, isn't that an accessory by itself? Now I don't know about how you'd exchange money and all that other stuff. So I mean, those are all kind of other things. But yeah, that should be a way I look at it. There's some standard and some potentially that you would pay for. Not that I know for sure. So
And just to reiterate, in that interview, David, you said he's very focused on creating like a creators economy in the
yeah,
VeveVerse. So whatever you create, you'll be all right in there.
yeah. And if you're an influencer, right? If you're one of these influencers, and that's what I was saying to my collectibles yesterday, right? Like normally you have to go and edit your video and do this, that, and the other, right? You don't have to do shit, man. Like literally, you go in there. There's a space. It's ready to go. You can put all your toys around you. Let's say you're talking about comics or you're talking about collectibles or whatever it is. You put whatever you want around you, and you can display it in the way in which you want to. And then, if you want to show a video of something else that you previously recorded, or some other thing, or a movie clip or whatever, just drop your movie screen and show that too. There's no editing, right? And the people that come, you can put benches and stuff, and you can have a whole bunch of people sitting in front of you on benches, man, in front of you. And you could be standing in the corner, in the middle. You could be on a podium, and you could take a flashlight and walk around the collectible and say, hey, check this out, check this out. Hey, if I do this, if I do this, like you can showroom. The showrooming aspect is amazing. So I think if you're like a VV influencer trying to kind of do something with your audience, I think it'd be amazing, man. It'd be just absolutely amazing. And if you are somebody who wants to sell and do all that other stuff too, like if you want to run an auction with your own stuff, or bring a bunch of people to do a trading kind of thing or whatever, like where you kind of agree on certain things. I mean, I haven't done it in the app, but feels like you can do all of those things. The applications of what you can do in the app is up to your imagination, and you have to build them. Hey Dave, how's it going?
Yo, Sanjay, good morning. What's good, Millie? Kaki, Queen, Boogie, good to see you.
What's going on, Dave? Bro, we had a late one
Yo,
last night,
bro,
man.
like I
Morning.
took like a 2 hour cat nap, bro, and my head's still going, bro. I'm serious. Like I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think people need to really like wrap their heads around and I wasn't someone who had the like I didn't get the beta nothing, but just listen to these guys talk. I think we need to start wrapping our heads around like really how we were in the beginning, because it's like people are all either for whatever reason like stupidly jaded from bullshit.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they need to stop with the nonsense and realize like there is such a massive opportunity that is going to be presented. Because Sanjay, if what you're saying in terms of creator economy, right? Like it is going to be massive. I mean, everything. Like think about anything that you can build, and it's true. Like you're only going to be limited by your imagination. And Sanjay, if you want a VeveVerse comic book shop, you're gonna have to .eth. You're gonna have to come to me. But either way, I'm saying we're gonna have to like really start like thinking about what do you want to build? Like if you were a developer, a real estate developer, what would you build? Like think about it.
Yeah, you can build whatever you want, man. Like you can really build whatever. You can become a racetrack owner and build a freaking racetrack where you can drive cars. You can have a movie theater for screening shit. You can have like just a building, like a gallery with rooms and rooms, the golden room, the platinum room. I don't know if we have any diamond. I've been thinking about this for a while, whether we have any diamond stuff on VeVe, because man, diamonds will
There's
spark.
nothing. There's nothing diamond.
There's
No,
nothing diamond as yet, dude. Like
nothing.
I think David's kind of fucking avoiding it for now because it's a lot of work. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have like this, diamond room where you can have just freaking collectibles with diamond VV logo and diamond studded VV logo and shit like that, right? Like those would be incredible. I mean, I think. Can you imagine walking into a room and there's diamond sparkling, man? It feels like a fucking diamond sparkling.
Like
That
VeveVerse
would be,
tours, Sanjay, right? Like who's going to be the one spending the
yeah,
most time like right now? Like if you're thinking about like if
yeah.
you're going to be in their building, like build a
Mhm.
tour guide company. You know what I mean? Like show people
Yeah,
around, show them the ropes, like
yeah.
like charge them a couple of gems. Like it's this is going to be nuts.
And you can see, like when you log in, you can see when you can see all the, like you can't just randomly go into somebody's room who hasn't invited you. Um, but if your friends have invited you once, like Rolex, no, actually Rolex, you got to learn how to invite people, dude. Like you're the only guy whose room I don't have like I can't see. Rolly, come on, fucking get on with it, man. Like, but anyway, Tails has invited me.
Rolly got a couple more pieces that he trying to get before you know what I mean before he let you in. He's you know what I'm saying?
Rolly wants to do a rollout. He's a surprise kind of thing.
You
But
know
anyway,
what
so
will be
you can see them, and so sorry, Kaki, just one thing, So all the guys who invited me, I see all their spaces every time when I go into my home screen, and I can see whether they're in their home space or not. So then when I click on it and go there, I can walk up to them and say, "Hey, homie, how you doing?" And I did that to Metaverse Live yesterday. I went to his pad; it was beautiful, and then I went to one more person's pad, and
Wait, so,
they were building.
so when you walk over there, Sanjay, is it like a neighborhood feel, or is it just like the
No,
same
no,
thing
no,
next,
no.
like same home next to each other?
No. It's just a link. You go to somebody's pad. It's not like look over and Rolly's behind me and Metaverse Live is to the left of me or something. It's just each pad has a unique link. It's not spatially
Oh,
organized,
like a
at least for
portal.
now. Yeah, it's just like spatial, man. Like that part is just like I thought like what's this other side is like that, right? Like and I think Sandbox also like that, right? Where you have like specific plots of land and when you could have premium land next to IP's land or whatever. That I didn't see. Maybe they'll have it. Who knows, man? Like this is still beta, right? Like nothing you see here you can take as like final product, right? You never know what they change.
Integrations? Any integrations that you saw, like for third-party applications or anything that you got to play with?
Uh, I didn't play with it. I saw integrations for all the VR stuff, right? Oculus, and then a couple other choices. And then I also saw the Ready Player Me kind of thing for avatars. I don't know if any others I played with as well,
Canva? Any of
but
that? None, like Canva or Blender? None of that stuff.
you probably have to ask one of the other guys for it. But I'm pretty sure you have the ability to bring in GLB models from anywhere you like. You have. I'm not the right guy. I shouldn't answer that question. I don't know is the answer. I can go take a look. I mean, right now, you're like the first you're trying to figure out some basic shit when you go in, right? trying to figure out, can I get my avatar in? Yes, do that. Can I fix my profile? Like, you want the right name, I want to be called in a certain way, fix that. Can I drop a few basic collectibles and play around with them, right? So I dropped in, Black Panther, Thor,
Are they
partner
all in there?
statue.
All the collectibles? Or I know they said there's like
Yeah.
about 800. Are they finished? Like,
Well, I didn't, I don't know the answer to the question other than when I searched, the things that I searched for popped and I could drop them in. Are they all finished? Are they still, is everything available there, but only some have been upgraded, or only the upgraded ones are in there and some more have to be added? I don't know the answer to all that question, man. Like, I haven't gone that deep as yet. But like the main, like the partner statue and stuff. Fuck, man, that's amazing, dude. Like, now I'm gonna put in all the Elsa. I think would be the next one I'd put in there because I want to see the detail on it. The footwear, it feels like there's like a writing pen or something on the shoe or something. I want to see all that other stuff, right? That clarity and that detail. I want to see what the lighting effect is. What's core to it. How much manipulation have they allowed with effects on that statue, and how much lighting. You have to get that right. I think it's an art to figure out the right types of lighting on the right parts. So
yeah.
Actually, Sanjay, I came up to tell.
Sunday, you were speaking about
Oh, sorry.
the Thor lightning yesterday. That was you, correct?
Khaki
yeah,
can't hear
Okay,
me.
so in the
No.
actual VV app,
Too early to
there
hey,
are
sing.
certain.
Kaki, Millie's talking right now. Can you hear him?
Oh, I can't. Let me drop down and come back up.
All right, brother.
My bad.
Sanjay, you got me. I almost sang. A
Man, that's
Canadian
the time
national
you kind of
anthem.
give all the feedback. You kind of let him cuss him out or whatever you want to do.
No, I was gonna say quickly. The naked whale, but yet to go. That what he was asking is exactly what you just said. When you see this stuff in their true form, it just means like they scale it down. And I always, Dave, I don't know if you'd remember, Dave. I always used to say this in the spaces, like when people are like, "Oh, it doesn't look that good," and what are we doing? And I'm thinking, these guys can't be that cheap, but it makes sense. And I'm not talking like a tech guy. It was literally just they had to scale it down so you can use it on the app. So now they were telling us yesterday. It's like when you see Walt the way it's supposed to be, when you see Elsa the way it's supposed to be, it's like 4K, 8K, right? Where we're getting like what we're getting is like a
780.
256. Yeah,
Oh, no,
780,
no, no. That's
264,
780.
bro.
No, that's crazy. No, no, no. We ain't
you,
that bad,
you know
yo.
you know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
But no, but yeah, that's the question Naked Whale had, and I always thought, I'm like, when people talk about these other apps or platforms or whatever, when you see the collectibles, even if it's not IP, it's super highly detailed and all that. I'm like, yeah, none of them are ever on an app. So two and two to be said. There's something, either these guys are really cheap or you have to scale it down, or else your app is just gonna break every time someone's trying to open an Elsa the way she's supposed to be, and that rings true.
Millie, you absolutely said that multiple times.
Thank you, Queen. And I gotta
Absolutely.
ask you what happened to Matt Mason yesterday. I was excited for that space. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Mask, go
Well,
ahead.
he wanted to schedule at 10:30 in the morning to get Vector on with him, and I had meetings that I could not move. So we're gonna
And that's
try
too
again.
early for Vector.
No, it's
Depends where
like
he is, I
he's
guess.
in he's in England, so that's
No, I
like
mean like his like they're like normally like very uppity guys. No,
uppity. What do you mean
like
uppity?
loud.
What do
Oh,
you mean funny?
rambunctious.
Funny like how? That's what it
Fu-
sounded like
You
Queen
know,
was
she's like
saying.
like like they're a clown.
no, uppity usually means like to me. Uppity means like you're snotty, you're snooty,
Oh,
you're
okay.
you
Lori,
know.
I thought I told you I ain't trying shoes no more.
Go home and get your shine box.
No, it was just he had to do it early. He wanted to get Vector in. I told him let's try for like next week, but yeah, it was I couldn't move meetings to accommodate him, so we had to cancel.
Yeah, fair enough.
You have to make your real money.
Exactly.
You have to do what
I
actually
just,
pays first.
I know Mask is dying to talk there.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. How's everybody doing?
What's up, Master?
Oh, hey, hey,
Morning, what's
Scott.
going
Chilling,
on?
chilling, chilling. I was just gonna say real quick, and I was telling O'Malley, DM. I think one of the special things about the what Tails was describing yesterday is the fact that when you have kids, right, and you do stuff together like build Legos and things like that. When you're at home. Well, when your kids get older, or even trying to reach your kids that are already on Roblox or digital, and you want to do things with them, and at the same time you have your collection too. That whole you'll be able to build stuff together. That just takes it to another level as far as being able to enjoy not just collecting, but collecting with your kids. So when you eventually pass away, don't mean to be morbid on that part, but you leave behind, something that they're always going to remember you by. So I think that part is very, very cool. I can't wait till they allow kids in here as well, so they can,
Hell
with
yeah,
their
bro.
parents, create their own VeveVerse. And the cool thing about it is, you can create regardless of what you own. You can own two collectibles, but you're still creating because they're giving you blocks to create with.
Yeah, and just on that topic, it's very social. This whole thing, and I know that only like a very few people now are on VV, right? About 12,000 or whatever in a month. I shouldn't say very few people. That's a pretty big number for this market, but all those people who have VV accounts will want to check out VeveVerse at least once, and if they don't, that's like silly. And my belief is when they go and check it out, if they've got friends in VeveVerse, you're hooked, man. You're hooked.
Well, the thing is, like my daughter, she grew up with Powerpuff Girls. We got Powerpuff Girls. So it's things like weekends. She lives in another city, so I don't see her often. And so, hey, here we are. Whenever she got free time,
Yeah,
we just jump on and we start building.
yeah. Makes sense. Hey, Village, go ahead. Village, you there? Okay. Hey, Jabs, how's it going, man?
Hi, Sanjay. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Doing
I,
good, man. Doing good.
yeah, I couldn't attend yesterday all those spaces regarding VeveVerse. I just have a question regarding Omi. I just have this feeling there is something with Omi and VeveVerse and nobody can talk about it. Is it something or is just my, I don't know, speculation, thinking?
Uh, I can't talk about any such thing, man.
Okay,
Like,
okay. You,
sorry,
you
dude.
just reply to it.
I
So
know,
fair
guys. Like,
enough.
some people are sending me a lot of questions and stuff on DMs and stuff, guys. Like, I literally don't want to break my NDA on that one, guys. So, like,
No,
on
no,
stuff, not this topic, but
fair
in
enough.
general, I don't want to break my NDA. I'm happy to share, just generally whatever VV's allowed us. Like they've said, you can describe things, but you can't, put pictures.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I'm happy to do that. But just talking about specific feature functionality like that, you know,
yeah.
uh,
I
yeah.
think I got my reply actually, so
Good
thanks.
work,
I
Jay.
think David has said though, right, in that at least in the past he said that he'll create the ability to use Omi to buy shit, right, accessories and stuff, and that's said in the MCP document too. So I mean, no reason to not believe that
No, no,
for now.
fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you, Sanjay.
Yeah. Hey, Queen, Vivi, go ahead.
Hey, Sanjay, did you see the gated Tokidoki Land or any portal to Marvel verse?
Good question.
Okay,
Good question.
okay.
Maybe they just haven't shown us that, or maybe maybe I'm, maybe there's like two levels of invitation. There's like the A players like Tails or whatever who may have that, or like now you put a doubt in my mind. Am I like a second class citizen in VeveVerse or am I a first class citizen? I might
Yeah,
have to
you're
answer.
below deck on the Titanic. I'm so sorry.
I don't know the answer to that, Vivi. I just
Okay.
only spaces I can see are the ones that I get invited to, and my friends have invited me, and I've seen their spaces. Maybe it does exist, and I just don't have an invite as yet.
It's not yet.
Yeah,
One other thing, could you put your comics on the walls?
I can't answer that specific
Okay,
stuff.
because that was actually in one of the videos that I saw. So
Can't
okay.
answer that. Cannot answer that. Go ahead, Kaki.
But I did have a question on the 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 blank canvas that you start with. Is that the building that David walked us through initially on the what was that, Decon or Comic Con, the first time that he sat down with his laptop and showed it, and they were sitting on the couches and all of that? Is that the blank canvas that everyone starts with, and then you build out from there?
I think so. I'm not 100% certain. It's been a while, though. Once again, sorry. I don't remember for sure, man. But
Jackie, it was supposed to be an option between a couple different homes, actually.
Okay. And
man, I just started with the home that I had. But maybe there is some other. Still need to figure it out, man. Don't know the answer to that.
No, maybe that's where we're going. I'm not saying that's the one that you have, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that was supposed to be the vision.
okay.
So by the time it
Mm.
rolls out, maybe that.
And one more
Yeah.
question, because they was talking about like how they had different room setup that they had built out. As far as going to someone else's creation and walking the biggest space that you've walked, what scale, what can you say for us to understand the scale of how big you'll be able to build these places out? Are we confined to a certain box that we can
No,
walk on, or
doesn't feel like it. I mean, I don't know the answer for sure because there's like a pad. Everybody has a
oh,
pad sitting in the sky.
uh-huh.
But I saw people putting all kinds of shit all over the
And
place outside the
were you
pad.
able to walk
And
that,
so,
or is it like a floating mechanism? How are you traveling that to actually be within the?
man, I pointed and clicked onto it, but it's a good question. I don't know the answer to it as yet.
True Tech said that even if you built this shit mad tiny,
Yeah,
right? If you built say you built a whole city, but you did like you
man.
kind of like the way
I,
he described it is like you like shrink yourself down, but the stuff still looks huge, or something like that. Or
yeah,
it's like your perspective or something he was explaining.
yeah,
So
That's
even
dope.
if you wanted to have infinite space, I guess if you did it that way, it would look just as good and it would look crazy. So
yeah. Hey guys, just so you know, this is not an AMA. I don't work for VV. I ain't that
Oh
technical
no, no,
either.
no.
So this is just you're asking a guy who kind of just loves to create avatars and put a few things and fuck around in the space and chat with his friends. So I'm like your true kind of customer who's there to have fun kind of thing. And even that I can't share too much. So just take it with a grain of salt,
And
guys. And it's also beta. So anything that I see in there, you never know if they kind of put it in the final version or whatever, or they make changes to it or something like that. So, dude, just treat the space as like, hey, listen, it's a fun experience that I had. Whatever I can share, I will. Go ahead. Who's next? Mask, right, or Dave?
So Sanjay, Jessica, I have a quick question about. So it sounds like there's the design aspect, right, of the VeveVerse, and then there's like I don't want to say the business or like maybe the technical kind of integration side. How much did you play like on both, and what like anything new or anything that maybe you thought about since yesterday that you didn't cover about like the technical side about like I know you can't talk obviously about the OMI token or any of that stuff, but if it like the creator economy stuff that you mentioned earlier about David and everything else, like did you play kind of like on that side? And am I missing anything?
No, I was just goofing around with Rolly and Metaverse Life. That's all I did, man. Like I think the other guys would have done a lot of that stuff, but I will, man. Like I've been in it, like I've had it for about 3 days now, right, or 4 days now, and I've done the basics: create an avatar, invite my friends, go to their paths, put a few things in, play around, walk around, interact, and that's about it. I've done and I'm going to do some of the other things, man. Like I'm definitely, these are all giving good ideas. And anyway, Sorry, man, I don't have an answer.
So, Sanjay is slow playing his aces.
Uh,
Sorry.
yeah, I've been busy. My business partner was in town here as well for the last 3 days, so I was like, kind of in the middle of that too. So, all right, who's next? Mask, go ahead.
Real quick, what's his name? Tail said that. Let me just move over here. When they asked him about scaling, they said that there's already some set scaling on there. Does that mean that it's basically like they already have set, like quarter scale, half scale, 6 scale?
I don't know. I mean, I seem to have been able to scale it to whatever I wanted
Okay,
to. I mean, I didn't go crazy or nothing, but like I took the Thor and I scaled him couple of multiples
but
and
there's no set
rolling.
number, right? Like a 1/6 scale,
I
half
don't
scale, nothing like that, right?
don't seem to be free form unless it
Okay.
doesn't take the other things in between. So I don't know that for sure.
It was
Go
no
ahead,
com-
Blitz.
It was no comics in there, right?
Can't comment about that, Boogie. Cannot comment about that, brother. Blitz, go ahead.
So sorry. Morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good Blitz.
Good stuff. What's up,
Hey,
man?
quick question, man. Just a curiosity. Now, when you were using this, was this an application or was it the browser, or like I guess like a direct link to it?
Eh,
The only, the only reason
application.
I'm asking is because, like, do you see a possibility of this being on tablets? You know what I mean? Um, okay,
Application.
okay, cool. All right, sweet.
So yeah, I mean it's not on tablets now,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it will,
Correct,
right?
correct. Yeah, no, yeah, I know,
At
I
some
know.
point.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
it makes sense.
yeah,
All
application.
right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. All right, VV Vault Master. Have you come here to help me or ask a
Oh, you
question?
already know
I
I'm gonna
think.
help you, man.
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
When it comes to the floor,
Please direct all questions to this
yeah, I
gentleman here.
got you, man. I got like I'm on my 14th showroom so far. So, but the floor you can make big as you want, man. You can make it, you know, as far out as you want. Like meaning that you could take you hours to walk to the edge of it. Or you can make it small, like a little island, and you
Ooh.
can, you know, walk on that island. It's very easy. Like you know, if you've been in the vault, it's very restricted to how far you can see. So it limits you on what you can create. But, you know, in this new format is you can literally create a city size place. So, for instance, I've been playing around with my little VeveVerse city. You know, I have VV City, right? That's pretty cool. But VeveVerse City is way more realistic because you get different viewpoints, vantage points. I would like to say, like say for instance, I have a Superman with laser eyes. You already know I got him. I did the FA Vault one, which is pretty cool. Used the sabers, took forever to make. Right now, you can use simple shapes, and then you can turn those simple shapes into laser eyes, and you can also put like a what do you call a tint, so it actually looks like laser eyes instead of just some sabers, right? So now imagine you have a scene, like for instance, I got this scene right now that I'm working on. I got Superman with the laser eyes, and he's basically, you know, what do you call it? His lasers are going through a zombie right now, right? Deadpool zombie. And I'm up close. I can literally zoom out all the way, and you could barely see them. But behind them, there's buildings, right? So you could barely see Superman and the scene, but you know, when you zoom out, but you could still see them if that makes any sense. So you can change all the point of views. So that's something pretty big. And someone said if it's an application, yes. And the thing about this is, remember, we're going. We already have. I don't know if I could say that. No, we can't because it's already been shown into the demo. The headsets. So it's compatible with headsets. So you can literally check me out. So you can literally walk out to the street, right? I'm gonna, you know, make some videos about this. You literally walk out into the street, look up, and you literally have to look up at the building. And like in real life, you know, you have to look, if it's a tall building, you're looking straight up, right? This is the same thing. Or if you're on top of the building, you gotta look straight down. So it gives you a trippy effect for sure. And the quality, right? The quality is just, it's no comparison, you know? let's just say all the things that that people said about certain collectibles, that that's gone away, man.
What about the AI features?
Oh well, that we can't really go into the AI features. There's that's something later on down the road. But with most companies, I can use this as an example. There's a lot of companies right now that are just doing plugins for AI. When it comes to Chat GBT or whatnot, it's going to be easy, in my opinion, easily accessible. And like I said, this has nothing to do with the VeveVerse side of things. I don't want to get in trouble for that stuff. But in general, if you look around at companies, it's all the companies are starting to get these plugins for this AI technology. So, and just one more. I'm sorry, I'm talking my head off, but there's a lot of info here, and I have a lot to talk about when it comes to these things.
Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep
but
going.
when it comes to AI right now, and I'm in a couple programs too. I can't talk about everything. There's a lot of things going on. I'm in like 50 different apps, right? And there's one where you can do text to video games. I know it sounds crazy, right? What do you mean text to video games? Exactly what I just said. Well, literally making basic games out of just texting, word prompts. So, we're already at a stage where it's in my belief that we're trying to catch up to this information. Like it's like a everlasting catch up game now because of the advancement of technology. So, and we're talking about a little bit further down on further down the road, but given this beta test that we're in, remember this is the first stage, and it's far surpassed my expectations, man. Okay. Well, I'm talking too much. I think it's Queen.
Don't tease us,
No,
bro. Don't tease us.
no, I try to give as much as I can without going too far.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Like the technical sides of, the part I guess where VV Vault Master you can comment on is, VeveVerse versus spatial. VeveVerse is very easy to kind of display, manipulate, show stuff, do stuff, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, no, you know what? You brought up a good point. Yeah, I've done spatial a lot. You already know I went over there and crashed it over there. I got followed by those people in 3 days, right? And my main thing was just to get more people onboarded, right, etc. And it's a pretty good platform. But when you compare it to the VeveVerse, man, it's not. There's no comparison because you can't just make your own characters on the fly, right? Like I can't talk about this, but just anyways. I didn't have. Let's just say I didn't have the
Keep
full time.
talking.
Let's just say I didn't have the full time to play around with my collectibles till later, right? So I had a limited time.
Did you see any comics in there?
I can't talk about that. But when it comes to
Okay.
spatial, man, it's not. There's no comparison because you can actually build characters from scratch fast, and you can change the whole scene really fast, right? Like when it comes to your skybox, the colors, like literally, like right now I have a red tint to my showroom. So like everything has got a red tint on it. And it's not no special effect or anything like that. It's just you simply adjusting a parameter. So I'm pretty sure people are going to be excited about that. You have your favorite color in your showroom.
That makes sense. Hey, Boogie, question for you, man. Do you want the comics in there to read it or to show it?
Both.
Stop, Sanjay, stop.
Both. Both.
Boogie, we gotta have to talk about that Night Nurse comic, dude. You
I
read that
need
comic or what?
I need it all. I need it. I got it all, Sanjay.
Whoa,
Listen.
Yeah, I have
night
like
nurse.
800 of those comics or 500 of those
You
comics,
have
right?
500 of them?
Me too.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't have 500. Y'all boys was going in.
Yeah. I know. You have
I
a
got
couple
I got
hundred.
like 265. I'm not gonna
Two.
lie. I got like 265 of them. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
But
you
my
so.
but my but my other but
That's it.
I can't even talk about it because I got a partner in crime on it, so I don't want to blow
Yeah,
up
we
the
know who
spot.
it is.
Yeah,
He was on stage earlier.
everybody knows who it is. I mean, I'm just saying, like, shout out to him. You know what I mean?
He was trying to sell them some time back, and then he lowered his price.
Listen. He wasn't selling. He wasn't selling. That's all we got. That's all you got to know. You know what I
Oh, he
mean?
was trying to get people to
No,
list
he
it
wasn't.
lower.
Listen, he wasn't doing nothing. He was doing everything under the VV. Where's my man Dub so he can let him he can come up here and tell you guys that he was within his VV rights. You know what I mean? He did nothing.
He's coming up. At least we think the right party is coming up.
Yo, I was not yo, thank you, Boogie, having my back.
Is the right party
I
here?
was not selling them, bro. I don't have whale money.
I guess we did get the right
I
party.
gotta suppress the price somehow, bro. And I buy them for very cheap because of what I did. Shout out Boogie. That's all.
He didn't want to look. The one time I popped up ever to sell it, he didn't want to go that low. He was like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, I said, "I think it could go lower." He was
He
like,
chin checked me.
"All right, once we made that agreement, bro, this man. He's savage. I even bought a couple of hits because I was like, yo, this is too low." And then we got in a little argument, you know what I mean? That I had to publicly apologize, you know what I mean? Then he started it back up again.
We good. But Sanjay, and I know this isn't right, but I can tell how when they say like the elites, try to, kind of put the boot down on the people who have lesser than. I'm sorry, I'm just being real, but I feel it because I know sometimes people need money so bad, and they don't want to sell the comic for $4, but you've got no choice. You gotta take the 4 because that's all I'm giving you.
Oh, Millie,
And
I'm getting a special accessory in the VeveVerse, which is a battery with two kind of electrodes. Anybody who sells their freaking comics, below the floor price, I'm gonna come to your showroom. I'm gonna hook your avatar up to the battery with those electrodes, and you're gonna be.
yeah, that's all right. No, I'm a Republican, bro. I suppress until they
Yeah,
until
yo,
they sell
Billy,
it to me for
they don't
cheap,
even know
bro.
when that second season dropped and we in a bull market. Bro.
Played the
And I'll make an
fair.
example out of this guy too. I'm gonna put a
My
cross.
son Oscar out here doing hella great shit for us, bro. We gonna be chilling, bro.
Let's go. But yeah, please respect the heads. My bad, guys.
Sorry, guys. Go ahead with hands. Who's next?
I think you had Village Queen Keki.
Everybody up here's forgetting, man. The real alpha came from my man E Boogie, man. He was up in there with the devs at that New York Comic Con. You know what I'm saying? So you got any questions? Email my man E Boogie, bro. He's got the answers for you. That's straight facts. All right. Now, question: can you have multiple vaults, like multiple rooms within the VeveVerse? So, like for instance,
Yes.
what okay, because Max was saying, like him building with his daughter, right? I think it'd
At
be
least for
pretty
now.
cool.
At least for now.
Okay, because
At
I
least
think
for
it'd be
now. You
pretty
never know if
cool.
they'll change that later, right? They kind of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to like say say you were building with a family member, right? And unfortunately they pass away. You have that memory saved where you can go into that vault. You know what I'm saying?
Disrupted the conversation, man. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have that battery with the two electrodes to anybody's avatar who kind of sells below floor. I'm gonna have like like in the olden days in the British times they have where they put your head between those block and they chop it off. Gonna have that for the avatar. I'm gonna have one of those walls, where they with a spike, where they put the head on top of the spike. The avatar.
Queen Vivi can help you with the guillotine if you need help with that.
There you go. Perfect person.
100%. I can't wait to use that.
Off with his head.
On that same note, I'm sorry that it was disruptive, but can you use the same collectible in multiple showrooms? Like if you
No,
own one partners, or is
no,
it one per? No,
one per.
one per. And just curious for the guys that have it, Sanjay, has it made you like want to go out and buy something that you've seen in other showrooms or that you don't have enough of?
That doesn't exist as yet for me, but I have
Okay.
most of it.
Okay.
But it could. It could.
Okay.
So I will.
You can't go buy it. That's insider trading. You're
Building on
non-public
that topic.
information.
Building on that topic real quick. Does
Dave, why you
animated
gotta say that,
collectibles
man? Dave, why you gotta say that, man?
I'm joking. Come
real
on.
quick.
Yeah.
Does animated collectibles feel that more much of a premium inside the VeveVerse? Like like is something worth and more, like not worth more, but is it worth paying the value on stuff that's animated versus non-animated?
that would be unfair to answer that question, because if I say yes, people go buy that. If I say no, people will kind of react differently. So, I think the more generic answer to that is Vivi is adapting all collectibles to the VeveVerse, and they are thinking through and doing different types. Like if it's gold, gold shines. If it's thunder or lightning, then they do something different. And so each one could be different. I've obviously only played with 8 or 9 of them so far. So there's you know yeah, let's leave it
You're
there, man.
good. Yeah, I got you.
Just leave it there, dude. Like, and it's probably not appropriate to kind of go any further than that. But everything looks definitely slightly different and more interesting with more nuances. Like I haven't played with the lenticulars as yet. I want to put a lenticular and walk from left to right, see that. I want to put the jade thing in there and see how the jade looks compared to the gold. Things like that. Who's next? Khaki or Mask? I don't know.
I thought it was Matt, but I'll go if he's not ready. So I did want to ask. I don't know if this was. First of all, let's just acknowledge the fact that it's 9:47 Eastern Time, 6:47 Western Time, and Lord knows where else on the other islands across the pond. And it's 84 people in here. It's still a rollover effect of
Yeah.
the amount of excitement. And I've seen a lot of people post on the Twitter feed that they haven't felt a space like yesterday where it was just straight speculation, all positivity in a long time. So I do want to just shout out the community for keeping the excitement where it's at, and keeping it clean, because this is how it used to be for like weeks and weeks nonstop, like 24 hours, 7 days out of the week. So it's just
the second they
Wait,
put
Kaki
that
says speculation though. That was bro, that's all the
he's
fuck this
downplaying it.
space
He's
was
downplaying it.
though, bro.
He's
That's
downplaying it.
that's
He's downplaying it.
crazy, bro.
But I was gonna say,
That
Khaki,
feels like a throwback, bro, that we sat around and speculated hard. Like that was heavy positive speculation, bro. I just had to go back to what you said, bro, because that shit, just you saying that shit, I didn't even realize how hard I was in the moment so hard, like, yo, all that shit, like nobody can't tell us we all crazy about, like, we was making shit up, like this shit would never happen, like, you know what I mean? So it just felt, bro, the way you just summed that shit up like that, it just that shit took me back. Like I was in the moment, I didn't even realize till you just said that shit. It took me back. That was good, bro. That yeah.
E-Boogie's over here like, I told you the vaccine was fake. Khaki, I was gonna say the the reminder for that space, dude, it went up for like within the first hour. That reminder had 280 people already going to it. Within the first hour. So I just want to throw that in there.
incredible. I did want to ask you one thing. When you walk up to a collectible, if I'm a guest walking into your space, is there any data attached to that collectible that if we touch it or activate a data sheet, does it give any information? And if not, is there the capability for us to use an edit tool to where we can attach our own information, something if we have a very special collectible, we can sit down and write a small note or something that fit beside it or attached to it, to where did you see anything like that? Because that also adds to the social feed. It's also something that if I leave my vault open and I'm not there to explain these things, people can kind of get a sense of who I am as a collector and as an individual, and they can really take their time walking through my space and looking at things that I've displayed and get them while we displayed it. Is there anything out there that y'all could do that would make that happen?
Sorry, guys. I'm going to step away for 2 minutes here, guys. Go ahead. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Keep chatting.
Yeah, I think I heard you. I'm multitasking. You said something about somewhere where you could write something down or something like that, describing things.
Right. Yeah. Or
Yeah, there's something like that. You're kind of cutting out.
Yeah, you breaking up. No, he was saying like if you have a collectible, can you like leave a note next to it or something if he's not there to
Yes.
explain it? All right,
Yes,
yeah,
you
go
can.
ahead. So explain that. Yeah.
And what else? And I'm sorry if I'm kind of like in and out too, because I'm like trying to do too much at once right now.
we got you. We
no,
got you.
you good because the reason why I said that is because this is a amazing way to bring things that you were offering up or willing to sell to the public. You can set your price on it. Hey, list it in the market for X amount, or you know what I mean. You can have a whole room where it's your private store. Where
For me, this is the original. You know what I mean? And that gives the details to
Let's
why.
make sure he ain't sell that shit though. Make sure he
You
ain't
know
do
he
all that.
probably did. Nah, that's one he probably kept. You know, John. That's one he probably actually kept. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna go. He got about I ain't gonna air him out like that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, but how dope would that be, bro? To just be able to leave your little
Yeah.
notes on the side of because I mean you can do anything with that, man. Look, bro.
Or you could leave. You could just on some creative shit. Like might be off, but you could leave somebody like how you said. If I'm not there, I could lead you through the whole place. Like, yeah. Welcome, and this the welcome sign. Oh, go to the left. Go to this one. That's where you start. Bing, lead them over here. Do some shit. Okay, all right. You're gonna do a game right here. Da da da. You know what I mean? It could be a whole type of setup. So yeah.
Yeah, because
That's good.
I was thinking to have a walkthrough of my history with VeVe, the big impactful buys and moments within the market um, that people can walk in and actually re-experience it. Like, oh, I forgot about this. You know what I mean? Like the Nighthawk. Like there's people that have stories about how not Nighthawk, Nightwing. That dropped. And a story on how you got the Nightwing when they shut it down and they paused everything and then they opened it up 30 minutes after and you rushed in and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many different
No, because if
stories
you
that
even
we
look
can
at it,
attach.
if you look at it how it stands, a lot of this shit in the market is really thin. You're looking at 20 items, 30 items. If this shit, and we're gonna say if it is what we think it could be, we're gonna use hypotheticals. Um, bro, that it's
And it's thin,
it,
and it's thin. And think
you
about
gotta
this.
tell a story because some people gonna be like, yo, this is the who the fuck got this on drop? Like this shit is crazy. Like you know what I mean? And you could lead someone through that shit, and that's there forever. That's tough.
Right now, I had made a point. I know you was in. I think you was in the room because this was late. This was like 2 a.m. in the morning when we just spitballing ideas of things we think could possibly happen. Like right now, the only way that we can have a 24/7 flex on some of the collectibles that we have is to put it in the market and list it for an astronomical price. Because there's a lot of pieces that are in the market right now that are priced not to sell. It's just priced to put it in there and attach my name. I own this piece, 9,999,999. So when you're able to now display these collectibles within the marketplace, when they reset the market, like they do, and your listing expires, how many of these people that can now flex it in their vault are going to want to put it in the marketplace because they have now a living social public area that they can display it outside of the marketplace, and all of those are collectibles that are not even meant to be in the marketplace. And when you see supply start to drop and you see a real number of actual collectibles that are for sale, like that changes how people start to approach what's in the market as well.
And things will go through waves. So things will if a person shows this collectible being hot, people might, you know what I mean, that might get a run up or whatever because I like the way they did that. I want to do that over there. You know what I mean? So it may be a run up on a certain type of anything, a whatever it is. So yeah, the shit is looking real dope for just being the base, the foundation. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I got a lot more, and it's crazy because when they showed that video, I was like, yeah, man, that's a lot more than what I thought they was gonna show because we always heard the first edition of the VeveVerse would just be like an extension of the vault, like an upgrade on the vault. But then when they showed the walkthrough, I was like, yo, that's a little better than what I thought it was going to be. And then now to
Bro,
hear what they have going on now, it's even better than what I expected. And I raised my expectations on what I felt the VeveVerse could be on its first rollout, just based off of that first video. And it's kind of exceeded my expectations
they
from
not
what
even
I'm
talking
hearing.
about the weather conditions and that shit. But we ain't gonna. That's another day.
Yeah, for sure. Mask, you got it, bro.
Oh no, I was gonna say two things. You can tell how big this was with everybody that came into space yesterday.
Mask, you
You
good,
had
bro?
Giphy, you had Grass, and you had Ling Ling listening.
I know. Where did grass come from? I was like,
You had
whoa.
Ling Ling coming into the space last night.
Oh, Langley, that was
Shirley
wild.
Shirley
Lowe?
Low,
Shirley Lowe was
Shirley
there.
Lowe, Shirley
E
Lowe.
Boogie,
Shirley
Let's
Lowe
go,
hey,
came
Shirley.
back.
Let's
O'Malley, E
go.
Boogie was in Discord yesterday.
Oh shit,
Hey,
boogie.
wait. Shh. That was on the low.
I know, I
Chill.
ain't gonna say nothing. I'm
Chill.
just saying.
Hey, that was
Oh shit.
Yo,
chill.
this is getting real over here, bro. Hey,
Yeah, I missed my comic. I missed my DC comic drop too because of this.
I was gonna say
Jeez.
Dave asked Sanjay.
Mass is everywhere. Damn, Mass.
You
Like,
can't hide, bro. You can't hide, man. It's all public, bro. You see it.
damn, that's
Is his
crazy.
name Ish Nasty on Discord or
Oh, I ain't, I
or
ain't gonna,
E
I ain't gonna
Boogie
give
with?
it away.
Listen, look, I was about to pull. All we need is Dez back because I was about to play that Cardi like back in the day right now because that's how,
Oh
yeah.
no! Oh
Yeah,
no!
we need Dez back, man, and John too. Where's John? Where's Dez? I think John would geek out over the stuff.
Yo, Dez is fronting right now. What I'm gonna tell you right now, I love that man. Right, what I'm gonna do, I know what Dez doing right now. He's actually very happy, right, and mad at the same time, right, because he knew this shit was gonna be lit, and he was doing everything up. Like that man knew. He was at the parties. He was everywhere, bro. He got a gold logo. I seen that man's excitement, right? So Dez right now, he's shedding a tear right now because he's happy, but he's mad because he got to come back to us and be like and be actually happy. You know that when Dez get happy in that high pitched voice, like when he hit the secret rare VV logo, yeah, like that's how he gonna be. Like he coming back. Like just give him like 2 weeks. But he heard all this shit. Trust me.
Dave, you asked Sanjay if he started going to the marketplace and buying other things that it make him want to buy, and I think,
I asked him
or if yeah,
that, but that's okay. You men don't hear the women's voice in these spaces, but go ahead.
it's hard to differentiate. Dave has a squeaky voice sometimes.
Thank you for putting
Sometimes you
on
can
Dave and
mistake
not me,
us.
Mask. I appreciate it.
I think Dave just be excited. That's he just
I was just excited.
There you go.
he just be a little happy. That's what I'm saying.
But I was gonna say it's made me not that I've never seen it before. As far as being in the ViewVerse, it's made me going into the marketplace and say, "Shit, I want to buy this because I want to add it, regardless of what the value is. It could be something that's $5, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to get this now."
Yeah, like
Max, you
a
think they
pouch or
seen comic
something with
books
all
in
those
here?
balloons. Like I was just looking at that, thinking how cool that would look with all those
E Boogie, I'm
balloons.
a comic
You
book
know what
guy.
I
I'm
mean?
not worrying about comics in there, bro.
Yeah. Do you think they seen them though in
Oh,
there?
I don't think so, man. But
Damn,
I'm not even worrying
that
about
would
comics.
suck.
I'm like looking at other shit, bro.
Yo, I know that too, but Come on, you don't tell me you don't want to see him in there at
I
all.
mean, I'll put
That's
them.
what
There'll
you
be a
telling me
room
about?
for them, but that's not going to be the main thing I'm going to want to display. Like, I want to, Avengers Towers, bro. I want to put that boy up there, man.
Oh, of course. But
Yeah, that's
are you
sick.
gonna go inside of that shit and make it an office though? You gonna make you gonna make that shit actually like so you go in there and it's all decked out?
Oh no,
I feel
I
like
might
that's
even
the way
put the
to do it.
comics over there where the Adventure Towers is, bro. I'm gonna have
Oh
different.
There
shit.
was a video that Randy showed us that was on one of Randy's streams that showed the comics on the wall. So I don't know why everyone's being so secretive about it. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
like, what
I
do you
just
mean?
want
Like,
someone
it
to
was
fucking
on one
say
of
it.
his streams. He
Come on.
showed the phone. He showed the VeveVerse. He showed comics on the sides on the walls. So I don't know why this is such a mystery, or why they're holding back. It's already been streamed.
She just
So
ripped the whole band-aid off. She's like, fuck it, let's get into it.
well,
So
I've already seen it with my eyes on a stream on YouTube. Like, I don't know what the pussyfooting around is. They're
because
fucking there.
they can't say it. That's why you just whipped the whole bit. You went right through it. Like I'm not mad at you. Shit, I want to know too. Like, what's up? Talk to us. I'm behind the queen. What's up?
I'm just saying, I've seen it with my own eyes. I saw it on a stream already. I saw it. It's out there. It's on YouTube. You guys could see the comics in the showroom and the walls. It's there.
So that means Randy showed it. Vault Master, you can tell us everything that you know. Go.
Nah. or else I would. I would. I mean, I've built so many showrooms up from out of comics and stuff.
Yeah.
First appearance of that. I killed it. What was it, over a year ago or something like that?
Look,
But
you don't have to say nothing because you said it all when you said I can't talk about that. Like,
yeah,
why would you not? You can't talk about comic book. We just talk about comic books. That's it. Comic
Yeah,
we
we're
books.
could
all friends
speculate
here.
though. We can
Comic
speculate.
Yeah.
books.
But you stay up here long enough. Eventually, I'm gonna ask you some more questions. I mean, like
Comic books.
The thing that's really dope about this too is you're able to duplicate spaces. I don't know if like say if you made a city or whatever it is, a couple houses or whatever you're doing, you don't have to rebuild it all. You could just duplicate it and make a template. So that's something that's extremely, I think, in my eyes, a huge upgrade. Because before you had to build each one by one, man. Now
Yeah,
you could
and
just.
you were using the comic books, right?
Well, if you talk about another platform, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Those were fire. So when you doing in the VeveVerse, is it kind of like the same process?
When it comes to placing things, you have the ability to, like, say for instance, not just scale them. You can stretch them out. So make different things
Oh,
look
so you can make them
dwarfed.
actually bigger than what they actually are. Like physically, they're supposed to be like smaller. So you can actually stretch them out and make them giant.
Yeah, there's things like, say for instance, like, we'll just use a collectible for an example. Okay, like the big what's it called, Mr. Puffed, I think. um,
Stay
Ghostbusters,
Puft
Mr.
Marshmallow Man.
Puff. Yeah, Marshmallow. There you go. Like, you can scale that thing like huge, like unbelievable. You can,
Oh, that's crazy.
it'll be the whole skybox would be the Marshmallow Man. So, or you can make it very small, and
Yeah.
also, the thing that's dope about this is people were wondering if you can customize collectibles and all that stuff. Well, in a sense, you can, if you can basically change the whole environment's color, and you can use lighting, right? You can use certain colors, right? The whole spectrum, obviously, right? Not just one color.
Oh wait,
You
yeah. So everybody was talking about lighting, and we didn't even talk about changing the colors of the lighting. So you can actually change the color of the lighting too.
absolutely a
Damn, I
gradient.
didn't even think about that. Shit.
Yeah, the best example I could say is, like, we obviously, well, not everybody, but Unreal Engine, and then you got Unity, and then you got Adobe, Arrow, all this stuff. The applications, they all have gizmos, and they're pretty similar, right? But the VeveVerse has it's I haven't seen anything like this before. So, like, to be able to build and do all these things at, in a fast pace, because that's one thing I like. I mean, I like I need to keep quality, but I also need to keep it moving. So
So there are accessories like a plaque to put the comic in when you shine a light on it, like because you want to display one. You know what I mean? Because it's worth a lot of money. So I know you have one of those. So it's just like how
well,
do you?
you can make your own displays. Yeah, you can make your own displays. Like say for instance, I've already made a tutorial on how to make a case, right? And basically it's really easy. It was like how I do my tutorials under a minute or whatever, so people don't go to
Yeah.
sleep. Right, it's the same thing. Like I'm doing these tutorials in under a minute how to make your own custom case for whatever collectible that you're trying to put it in. And also, like say for instance, it's glass, right? So you can see through it. But if you want to put some shade on that, like some red shade or
Oh
green or
wait. Oh
whatever.
shit. Wait. Because that's what I wanted to know. Real shit. Wait. This is real shit. This is what I really wanted to know. Like this is. I'm. This not even trying to be funny. Like from my comics. Like because eventually it's got to go in there. You can make a glass fucking. You can make a case. And it looks legit like a case.
Oh, it looks pro. You can make it look however you want. Literally,
Oh,
you got the simple
stop.
shapes, so like that
That's
look
what's
like how I like to make the things all huge in my
And no,
vault.
I mean like are the
Right.
materials that depth where I could put glass and it looks like fucking glass, like for real.
Yeah, no, it looks like a
Holy
glass case.
shit.
Yeah, no, for sure, like a pro, like like a professional glass case, man. And if you got the golden moments, like say for instance the
Oh
golden
shit.
moments, how they shine and stuff, and you
Oh
got the
yeah.
little case on top, man. That thing looks dope, man.
Oh don't touch, like
That's the piece I'm so excited about, man. Like the materials, right? When you
Yeah.
when you go in there, when you see the gold shining in that way, you kind of feel like you can, make different materials in different ways, and it's up to your imagination. That's why I was asking about diamonds and this, that, and the other. But I want to say hi to Dive Jedi and Crypto AJ. So let's start with Dive. How are you, man?
Hey everybody, I'm good. I spent the last 4 days hanging out with Shepard Ferry.
Damn, that's pretty cool, man. So, pretty awesome gift to Shepard. Did he give you something as well?
Well, actually, he was kind of surprised. I was already there at the place where he was gonna make his mural in Amsterdam, and so out of the blue, he just walked up, and so I went to him, and I'm like, "Excuse me, can I ask you something?" He said, "Yeah, yeah, sure, sure." I said, "Yeah, I made you a gift. What would be a good time to give it to you?" And he said, "No, we're still waiting for the lift, so you can give it to me now. I have a couple of minutes." I said, "Yeah, sure." So I ran to my car and got the magazine. And I also made a little banknote with a hammerhead shark on it. And I gave it to him, and he was, yeah, he really appreciated it. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, I don't have anything to give you." I said, "No, it's okay. It's a gift, It's not a it's not a trade." I said, "No, no. Here's my business card, and send me an email, and we'll figure something out." So that was really nice. But he's a very very friendly guy. He's like really down to earth. You can ask him anything. There was people asking them for, people brought his book, and then he would sign them. He would sign people's T-shirts and take photos and selfies. He was super super nice, super friendly guy. So, and that's always nice to see. If he's one of the biggest guys in street art, and it's really nice to see that. Yeah, he's really friendly. They were even trying to protect him a bit because he basically can't say no. So he will go along with anyone who asks him anything. And they had to sometimes like, no, no, Shepard, let's move inside because. But it was really nice, and he works with a crew, and all of those guys are, yeah, they're all painters. They're all really cool guys, and because, yeah, the nice thing about giving them a painting is also that they know that I paint. So I'm there to photograph, but they know like, this guy is also a spray painter. So then you automatically have like a click, and I would try to help them out because there was a lot of the stencils flying around, and it was very windy. So I pick up all the garbage and give it to them. And on the second day, when they came down, I said, I asked one of the other guys, I said, could you give me some empty spray cans? He said, yeah, sure, sure, sure. And then I went to Shepard, said, could you maybe sign them? Yeah, no problem, no problem. So I got 2 hand signed spray cans, which he used on the mural. So that was also pretty awesome. And yesterday they finished. So the mural was already finished, but I had to go to Amsterdam anyway. I wasn't planning to go today, but I had to go to Amsterdam anyway at 10 in the morning, and it was quite close. So this morning I went there again. I thought, yeah, maybe they're there or not. I don't know. And he was there, but it was just him. There was nobody else there. It was just Shepard the Fairy walking around, and 2 of his crew was like doing touching up on the wall. And so this morning I talked to him for like 30 minutes about painting and about U.S. politics and about gerrymandering and about all kinds of stuff. And about his family and about my family. And yeah, he was a really friendly guy. And the weird thing was, because I was standing there and there was also TV crews, I I was all of a sudden I was being interviewed by the by national TV. So that was like really silly. But yeah, it was a great time. So
That's pretty cool, man. Shepard Fairey is very, very, well known and popular and stuff. And I remember at Decon last year, and Crypto AJ, we'll go to you in a second here. Like Decon last year, there was a big line outside to run to the Medicom booth, and there the main piece was Shepard Fairey's Bear Bricks, and
yeah, yeah.
I know. So David, I went in, I got a couple and stuff like that, and then I saw David, you coming out of the store with a big bag, and he said he bought 4 of them. I was like, oh shit,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
4 of
I
Shepard Fairey's
actually
Bear Bricks.
I
It was pretty amazing.
sent David the photo where I'm handing my gift to Shepard. You know, the
Yeah,
one I posted. I also sent it to David, and
yeah.
he answered me back. He said, "Yeah, he's great. He's great." So I thought already that David is a big fan of.
He's a big fan.
His,
Yeah, he bought 4 of those Bear Bricks, man, and that's all. Like he had one bag with 4,
no,
so he
he's
didn't
just
say one
he's
or.
just a flipper. He's just a flipper. Yeah, I know why he buys 4. He's just flipping them.
Yeah, that's a great story. By the way, let's go to Crypto AJ. Sorry, man, you've been waiting for a bit here.
I had 2 questions. I forgot the second one. Um, if it come back to me, I ask again. But the first question I had was, will you be able to read your comics in the VeveVerse?
Can't answer that question, brother. So,
Yeah, we want to know.
yeah, no, can't answer that question, brother. Sorry.
Yes.
And
My guess would be
okay.
should be, but I can't answer this question for you guys.
My second question was, is it uh is it somewhere down the line? Has it been talked about? Um, where as though you could put like animation towards the comics?
Don't know, man. I hope so. I mean, I've I put out a post and tagged David you on it. So Sleepin has been fooling around with animation of the covers, with some tech. So he made a couple of animated covers and put them on Twitter. And I actually tagged David you in it, and I said I'd be more than happy to burn a few hundred Marvel comic ones for a limited edition animated cover. So he didn't respond to it, but yeah, man, like I don't see why not, right? Like that would be great, man. Like especially for some of these comics, to burn, if you can burn like some commons and uncommons to get like the 6th variant cover, which is an animated cover, uh, you know, exquisite rare or whatever, that'd be pretty cool, man. Just spitballing with you, man. We don't know the answer. Sorry, David.
So do you think that would be like a new trend later on down the line? Maybe not now, but
I
maybe
hope
later
so.
on down the line.
I hope so. I mean, even if it's not a comic, like a 6th variant with a comic cover, right? Which seems kind of weird because you can't increase the mint size. But even if it's like a poster, animated poster kind of a thing, of the comic cover, right? No different than how in the real world today we buy comic art, right? Like I have like one piece from Rian Gonzalez, which is an actual comic cover, original watercolor. Like why not have a digital animated one? And it could be a one of one, it could be a one of 10, or 50 or whatever, depending on what they want to do. So that's a great idea though, man. Like I love that idea. I'd love to see it happen. I mean, obviously, you know the first thing is to get all the collectibles in there, animated, the comics, the whatever, right? Everything, get all that stuff set up in there. I think that's sort of the first goal, right? But then after that, it'll be you know something to kind of think through. I wonder if there's like some rules around what you can publish, right, with media and stuff like that. Like a comic is full content, right? So if you have a fan displaying full content for other people, like you know what I mean? Like I don't know all the answers to the questions. I'm sure there's some sort of it's all anyway. All of this is like limited license, right? Isn't that what it's called? And Dave should probably kind of chime in on some of that.
Yo,
But yeah,
Sanjay, could
man,
you
good
fly?
questions. Great questions. It's
Sanjay,
still
Thanks,
a
could you
thanks,
beta.
fly
thanks for the
the
answers,
aircraft?
man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for questions. It's still a beta. It's just a couple of days so
I
far.
can.
So, all right, guys. Anyone else? Anything
Oh,
else?
Canada, our home and native land.
Are we watching some soccer or
True
something?
patriots
Okay, so
fly,
how do you feel
where
about
all our
gamification
sons come
um
home?
within the VeveVerse? Do you think it'll still
On
be
idle
uh
Melly,
country
stop.
song free.
it'll still be like
He's singing the state song of the 51st state.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
collector points, or how y'all think that's gonna go?
I think he had a hot mic.
He knew what he was doing.
He had a hot mic. Oh, too funny.
Your question was, how do you think collector points will play in to the VeveVerse? I think that some people speculate that you might be able to get some special things, maybe furniture, etc., with your points, but I'm not sure if that's been shared. Sanjay, do you guys have anything to add on MCP points within VeveVerse for creation?
No, dude. Like, I don't know anything about that. So that's all good questions, man. Any very good questions. I don't
And
really.
my last question, I know I got like a billion questions, but
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm in and out of the spaces, you know what I'm saying? And I jump around. So
That's cool,
um
dude.
I wanted to know, like, so how do you feel, how, because I asked this question yesterday, and I did get a good response, but how do you feel about the whole interoperability thing? Do you think it becomes like, right now it's okay with things being the way they are, but later on, as like the VeveVerse actually, finish beta and everything, you
Yeah.
think people will want to take their sets to like other platforms? Like, of course, it's going to be not competition, but it's going to be other platforms as well, that you might want to put your items in. Like,
Yeah.
say for example, you buy some land and you get a house or something, and you just want to put your pictures up. Do you think that'll play a factor later on
Yeah, I
down
mean,
the
those are
line?
good question, man. That's an amazing question. So the first thing that I do know is I'm able to bring in an avatar from the outside into VVverse, correct? From Ready Player Me. That's massive. It just says there's interoperability with Ready Player Me to bring something in. So the way I see it is, there's two types of interoperability. One is to bring things in, the other one is to take things out. My sense is that in the beginning, to ensure there's quality, they'll probably limit, you know, um, the what you can take out. My sense is eventually, it might go there. I don't know for sure, but that seems like a logical kind of an outcome, right? Even like Apple Music and whatever iTunes Music and shit, there's always ways in which you can export that music into another platform, right? So my sense is that that will eventually come for based on whether the licensor wants to enable it or not. My sense is that even if it does happen, it's not going to be a you know take it anywhere you like. I think they may go into it's like how bonded have you seen Blue Streak? Bonded goods go from bonded warehouses to bonded warehouses. I think day one you're going to have the VeveVerse, which is one bonded warehouse, and then you're going to be able to take it in a bonded truck to another bonded warehouse. So my sense is that's probably the closest analogy I can think of, and that's just my guess. I may be wrong. They may just end up saying, "Oh, okay, take it and put it in your MetaMask, and take it and put it anywhere, and sell it anywhere and stuff." But I think the reason for that is also very simple, because this is not just some token that you're sending somewhere to do something, right? Wherever it goes, there's an expectation that it would display in a certain quality, right? Like I bought an NFT, a music NFT from Sweet on the I think one was on Polygon, one was on Tez, and I think it was on Polygon. Yeah, and when I put it in my wallet and stuff, it didn't play well, man. It just was an NFT. I mean, it was still an NFT you could buy and sell and stuff, but it lost that ability to play and stuff. And I know some people have figured that out, and I'm not the expert in it, but my sense is that they would, for day one, they probably just want to make sure that everything works well in their own ecosystem, and then based on what licensors allow, they'll have maybe some limited kind of movement to other places. Um, if anybody else has thoughts, man, like Vivi Master might be a better guy to answer this question. Or, my favorite artist, man, Fabriks is here, dude. Like, in Spatial, I have so much of Fabriks stuff. Like, I think I have like over 50, maybe even like 75 or 80 Fabriks kind of pieces. And they're all, NFTs that are on my Spatial wall in my penthouse. In fact, one whole wall in my living room is nothing but Fabriks. And then I have another gallery with just Fabric stuff. So, um, I'm looking forward to both putting his art on the walls as well as, the GLB files for the cans and stuff like that. Bring those in. So super excited, brother. I hope you have a collab with Vivi and your stuff becomes available in VeveVerse. I would love to have, like, I have some fiches in my spatial pad right in the middle, the GLB file. But brother, I want your stuff in there, man. Both the stuff on the wall as well as, and not just the new stuff you do with Vivi, but all the legacy stuff. Ability to bring that in. But anyway, all right, let's go to Mahalo and then J Beast.
Hey Sanjay, loving the space. I just wanted to ask. I don't know if you kind of covered it with AJ's
Yeah, you better
question,
not
but
cancel that ticket to New York, first of all.
thank you, man. I appreciate that too, man. It's
Yeah,
really
Mahalo's
kind of you.
ticket to New York is sponsored. It's been booked and paid for, so his ass better show up in New York now.
Mahalo
Sponsored
on
by
the
Mr.
ground, man.
MC1.
Let's
Sponsored by
go.
Mr.
Let's go,
MC1,
Mahalo.
brother.
But
Uh,
yeah, Sanjay, I wanted to see if you probably saw any kind of inclination where you can import assets from outside. Like, do you see that option, or has it not been kind of seen or teased?
haven't played with that as yet. I've only played around with bringing the VV assets in. Right, there's so much of VV stuff. Like, it's like I will check that out today, man. In fact, I'm gonna shut the space down in maybe about 20 minutes or half an hour or something, and then get back, into VVverse. I've cleared my calendar for the day, guys. I have zero things. I moved all my meetings out to Friday, and I've cleared my day to just work exclusively on VVverse today. So, but yeah, man. I'm not sure I'll be allowed to talk about it, Mahalo, even if there is, unless VV Vault Master wants to answer that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're able to talk about that.
All right,
I
good
try to.
stuff. Oh man, but you'd think it happens soon. All right,
But I
JB.
can talk about the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was
No,
going
no,
to talk
please,
about the
please, please. No,
gamification.
hit
I
this
think
topic
someone was
first. We'll
talking
go to
about that.
JB's after. No, go ahead. Hit this topic first. We'll go to JB's later.
For right now, obviously we're in beta, so it's limited when it comes to the actual gaming process. But like for instance, the TIE Fighter, right? You actually have interiors on these things, right? So, I made a little makeshift scene with Darth Vader, him holding up his two pieces of art, Star Wars posters, and you can also include your avatar into the scenes, right? Well, my point is, it's in the VeveVerse city that I made, and it's huge, right? Like it's a massive place. So you literally have to go in flyboat to get to places. I mean, if you try to walk, you're gonna be there, trying to walk for 40 minutes or something like that, because it's a big place. Okay, and you can make it even bigger than that. But my point is, you can make games like, hey, can you find this character or whatever, and you can make him, put him in a location like inside the TIE Fighter, for example. And if someone finds it, then that's a win. Just giving examples of what you can do, right? And you also have notes that you can write as well. So you can make your own scenes and have little bubbles with your writings on it, if that makes any sense, at describing things. So when it comes to gamification, we're really early, but I see when it comes to these animations, like they've already talked about the ability to change certain things, speed it up, slow it down, loop, all that stuff. So I would imagine you can start to get a feel of gamification, if that makes any sense. And further down the road, I don't know if we could talk about that, but eventually when it comes to gamification, I can use spatial as an example. They have an SDK package, so it makes it a little bit easier for the average person to learn how to do that type of thing. So I'll leave it like that. That way I don't
Awesome, man.
get in trouble.
No, that's good stuff. JB's, go ahead.
Oh, it's very kind of you to have me up here, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the space.
Yeah, always.
I missed the space yesterday because obviously it was a late space and I was working this morning. So was there a recorded space or no recording for the space?
It was not recorded, but what I've heard is that somebody said that they've got some part of the recording, starting from like somewhere about 30 minutes into it onwards. It was a long space. Let me see if I can find it. It's Tales.
I think it was Kid Roller. Kid Roller, if you're down there, please, if you want to come up for a second. I think he has a lot of the YouTube. Who was telling us? Naked Row was saying this morning, but the actual space was not recorded until Tails gets it from Twitter because he
Oh, so this is
forgot to
somebody
put
else recorded the space. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of. Mm-hmm.
and Danny the Bull was
Kind of like how
also
Danny,
recording,
kind of
not
like
recording,
the
but
way
he
he went
was
live.
broadcasting it for some part, maybe the later part.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, brilliant.
So I think Kid Roller just started earlier.
So,
Yeah.
I have a big apology for Danny the Bull, man. I was supposed to be on his space yesterday, but this VeveVerse space ran over. And then there was, no way I was going to, be on a channel talking at the same time as Tails, covering VeveVerse, especially with the team and everybody in it. So, in the end, we've pushed that out to Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be with Danny the Bull at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday, you know, big apologies to him, man. Big apologies. And he had 60 people still on his stream and just broadcasting the Tales of Space. I feel terrible, man, but that was probably the right
No, but
call.
actually, I think it worked out well because first of all, I know he knows he's smart. He knows that was the right call, but also I went to that YouTube and people are just having fun. They were listening to the space and just talking about it on the live chat. I thought that was really fun. So, yeah, it worked out. And then, tomorrow you do it again. You're gonna do it with him, so it's all good.
Sorry, JB, that was a long answer to your question.
No, it's appreciated. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate
Kid
it.
Roller.
Sanjay, I got to duck to a
No
meeting.
worries.
Sorry to leave you.
All right, Queen BB.
You good.
I got to go make the VV money. I got to go.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, for those of you guys who haven't seen Randy's space with Dr. Rashid Al Farouk. So very, very interesting space. And Randy, basically, a lot of people have different perspectives about Randy or whatever, right? Some love him a lot, some don't, and whatever. But listen, that one space that Randy has with Dr. Rashid Al Farouk is very interesting because that guy is, someone who's loved comics. He was one of the families that actually were educated overseas. Even though they were part of a very prominent family in the Emirates, they went overseas, and he was educated overseas. He started collecting comics when he was 9 years old with his parents, and comes from an affluent family, and he has like 40, 50,000 comics in his own collection. It's my understanding that he's either an investor or owns a comic business that's just opened up in on Main Street, in the Emirates somewhere, and he has some slabs which are absolutely incredible. And in that interview, he covers, he shows off some of his slabs that he has, and he has only 44 comics on VeVe, and so he's somebody new to the VeVe community. And he said, and he's also the main sponsor or organizer of one of the largest cons in, the Comic Con type thing in the Middle East, in the Emirates. And he was inviting people to come attend. And Dr. Prophet said, he would be there. And I know a lot of us are trying to convince David and the team to also go there, to that. But Cast That Space is the first time I heard from that guy, and it was a very, very good, it's great to hear that guy. So, and those of you who have channels and stuff should reach out to him, especially comic guys. Go reach out to him. It'd be great I'd love to see more of that guy on VeVe, spaces and stuff too. I mean, I don't know him. I've sent him an invite, but I don't think he knows who I am and whatever. So he probably thinks just another guy. But those of you who have the ability to connect in, it'd be great. Anyway, let me leave it there.
Can I just say one more thing before I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Beast. JB, it's all yours, man.
Yeah. So I'm planning to do a giveaway for the Last of the Lemon Gang, which will probably be on Saturday or Sunday. I've sent a DM to Fabric. Can you please check your DM? Because I need to communicate with you before we do it. Because I know we said we were going to discuss a few things. So I'd appreciate, if you can just send me a DM and just respond to that message. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, JB, that's awesome, dude. Like, I love those spaces that you hold. Those old school spaces that you had with Fabriks were a lot of fun too, man. We gotta. Fabriks is here listening, so we gotta do one of those with Fabriks, man. That'd be awesome, brother. JB, let's get him in the space talking, because he's Fabriks is one of the I would say he's in the 1% or 0.1% of people in this community who have experimented with you know 3D collectibles and animation and stuff like that. And I'd love to get his perspective on what developments that he's seen in that space. Oh, there he is. He's coming up. All right, we got
Let's go.
Fabriks. That space is now. Hi, Fabriks. How are you, man?
Yeah,
Hey,
Fabriks,
can
what's
you hear
up,
me?
man? Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
sorry
brother.
about
How are
that.
you doing?
I had a phone call right now. I heard Tokes get on here, or Beast. I heard Beast get on here and say something about Lemon Gang, and then I went to come on stage, and my phone call came in. So I don't know what he said, but I figured it. I figured I should come up and see what was going on.
That's awesome, brother. All right, Lemon Gang. Let's go.
Yo, Fabrik, I can't openly discuss what we wanted to discuss because obviously that's between, the DM. So
Oh,
I
okay. I
can't.
didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I just heard you
So,
speak, so I can call.
yeah,
I'll shoot you a. I'm
yeah.
finish my phone call and I'll shoot you a text or something.
Unless you want me to
Sorry about
say
that.
anything. Unless you want me to say something here, but I don't think so. So, yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm all about I'm open, man, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I'll
Yeah, what's the secret, Tokes? Let's go, man.
Yo, bro, just check your DM,
Come on,
man. We need to
JBs. I
make
want
that
to
call.
hear.
We need to make the
I want to
call,
be
bro.
part of this whole thing. I
Okay,
want to be part
cool.
of it.
Yo, MC, man, nice to hear you this morning, and you still going, bro. Everybody, the
Yeah,
space is
brother.
lovely. I'm just glad I can listen from And I can actually join from my iPad now, so I might jump up and jump down. But much love to everybody.
Hey, Fabrice, brother, just a couple of questions for you. You and I haven't chatted in a while. So when you look at the developments in the space over the last year, right? The with all the headsets now, with Oculus, with the Apple Vision Pro, there's all these things coming out. You're seeing, you've got your ear to the ground with a lot of artists building 3D type stuff, GLB models and other things. If you can share your perspective on what you've seen over the last year, developments, improvements, and what you're most excited about, that would be great, brother.
Okay, I could try to give some my perspective on like the development of artists going into this 3D space. You mean? And are you saying
Yes,
the
yes,
entire
yes,
NFT
yes.
space or just?
Just yeah. This is open question. Any across the space outside of our world as well.
Okay, so I think it's a given that everything is leading towards VR and AR, right? For me specifically, between AR and VR, I've always thought that the AR is the metaverse that I think would be more easily accessible only because of I was aware of the technology on mobile devices and that being in everyone's hands already versus trying to go out and find the right headset and things of that nature. But I felt like that has always been the space. This virtual reality world has always been the space that would house a lot of these digital collectibles, and even the NFTs outside of the VeVe world is like you think about moving forward and going into 3D spaces. So I do see like a catching up happening. I do see like a understanding of um, the new technology, and you see it happening kind of collectively through these different social media apps. And you see like we get a taste of AR tech through through like facial recognition and different kind of masks and things you could wear on Snapchat filters. And when things like that came out here to the NFT community, and they started seeing like Artifact Studios and Nike do fashion and allow people to try on shoes and all these different kinds of things. I think people started to see like, okay, instead of making this JPEG and then I have to make a frame version of it that can go into a VR gallery, and then I'll make a 3D character of it that's just a video, and then I'll make a 3D rendering of it that's kind of animated, and then I'll go to the point where they can actually have 3D files. And you look at, I mean, I did a video about this recently, but if you look at a kid called Beast and what that actually did to the space, in the sense of introducing, a 3D based collectible that kind of gives you this augmented reality feature to it, and and I felt like, I mean, I never had one of those, but I loved the fact that it was bringing. I think it just was like a spotlight on what we've been doing at VeVe, right? And the importance of kind of like all of these different aspects of a collectible and being able to interact with it and things of that nature. So after the launch of that A Kid Called Beast project, you started to see a lot of collections um, they'll release 3D projects, but then they'll give you the option to click a button and go right into augmented reality straight from OpenSea, or these rotatable 3D files instead of just an image, right? And I thought that that's something that like we don't really pay attention to within VeVe, as far as like being on a whole nother spectrum, because we've always had that from the beginning. But I do see the space outside of 3D and augmented reality collectibles. I see creators making sure they have that element to their collectible, because it's like you had people come out with the JPEGs in the beginning, but then the conversation switched to metaverse. So then everyone started thinking, okay, well then what's my metaverse identity? And how can I have my NFT still represent me in the metaverse? And if things didn't have that 3D element to it, if your collectibles didn't have that 3D element to it, it had to be a whole new creation. And then sometimes that creation didn't match exactly what you're expecting, like taking one collectible from this high def virtual reality space into something like Sandbox and you seeing this pixelated version. But I do see people catching on with the augmented reality stuff and what can actually be done. And I think that that's where it will happen. I think that like the whole metaverse experience that we talk about, it has 3D elements to it, and this whole XY axis of design that we've been kind of doing in our vaults, and in comparison to something like on cyber or spatial, it does give us different aspects on how we can learn within this VR space. But I think we've been equipped and prepping for a long time. For the people that were early, I guess I don't think I'm speaking as if everybody started with VV when I did, but
That was great, very helpful. And any perspectives on, obviously you've heard a little bit about what we've been doing with VeveVerse, and the whole social element to it, right? The ability to invite friends, the ability to see your friends, their front view cameras, to see their avatars engaging differently from their front view cameras, and to be able to chat and those kind of things. What do you see a technology like this becoming a little bit more mainstream, or penetrating, you know like, do you think it might become something that people would come in for, meaning they're not into NFTs, but they come into, to experience the social side of like a VVverse, and then maybe end up kind of picking up an NFT or whatever. Any thoughts on that adoption kind of thing?
so something I would say is that I've always focused on like when adoption, like before the NFT space came along, and there's like the same narrative of like when mass adoption of NFTs, or when will people understand the NFTs, or why do gamers understand skins but not NFTs? And I was in that same space, but more so with augmented reality. So I mean, as much as like I would love to say that everyone understands, it's like it's kind of I didn't I think that like what VV is doing is building this social network around this tech, and that's what I'm excited about, because the people don't necessarily have to understand the NFTs, but then if they learn, people just need to know what these devices are capable of. The device that you already have, that you're already listening on, is like, we know about it. But so to be able to have these environments or curated spaces, or will be able to curate spaces in VVverse for our own friends and family, and then introduce them to the space, it's like, here, check this out, this is what I've done, or this is the VVverse, or like, yeah, you can interact with like your cousin or your brother, your friend, or this or that, and play games. And I think they said something about like the shareable screen, and you doing like something as simple as like leaving a message, writing a message. I know Kaki was saying something about having a wall where you can kind of do some art, like a markup wall. And it was something similar to that concept spoke about, but like and that's the concept of mini games. So when you think of like, oh, let's just do a quick game of tic-tac-toe, like, oh, well, that's a virtual reality based mini game. But it's like, well, are we going to have augmented reality, Mortal Kombat fighting live right in our front yards? Or it's like, so we have all these different ideas of like, will there be games, or what's the gamification? But then we also want augmented reality gaming, and that tech is like, it's been here, it's here. It's just like the adoption thing. So I do, to wrap it up, I do think that like the social media aspect has always been like a cool thing. And I, in the beginning, knowing that it's going to turn into something, like seeing the feed inside the app was just mind blowing in the beginning, to be able to talk to everybody pre-drop. And like even though there was like a ton of bugs when it came to like the feed and refreshing and stuff, but in the beginning stages of that was just like seeing something that we had never seen before when it came to the tech. But then also like having our gallery one click away, and then also having a feed in the thread of all of these people that are inside of this world with us, one click away as well. So I think us being able to curate experiences around this tech that's not so much NFT based, but it's more of this fun experience, I think we can share that aspect. Because I think like you have Snapchat and you have augmented reality things on there, or these AR stickers on Instagram, but is the conversation about that? There's so many other things going on when it comes to the juicy conversations on these different platforms and what's being spoken about. It's not about the tech. It's more so about like, hey, check this out, or try this makeup on, or try these glasses on without actually wearing them, and things of that nature. So I think it's cool, man. I think the social media aspect hasn't even, it hasn't even taken its place yet. It's like another thing with Kaki saying the unknown unknowns, right? I definitely think social media aspect is going to be big, and the ability to kind of turn that social media feed part of the VeVe app, kind of see that flesh out in the virtual world, is going to be exciting to see how people communicate, and the kind of things that we do, like even with like how I would do giveaways, and I would do this 3D virtual reality Easter egg hunt. Is like, just imagine these different kinds of gamifications that can be created with them giving us certain tools, and then the social aspect and us having dialogue based around some of this gamification that we actually create. I think a lot of the first gamification will come from us, and like
Yeah.
wanting it so bad that we go in here and figure out how to craft something.
Yo, Fabric, I'm gonna disappear soon, so I just wanted to quickly say, I'm gonna send over a load of rigged files for you to play around with. Um, if you're interested, if you are, just send me your Dropbox, man. I got you.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna jump in your DM.
Yeah, no issue, bro. No issue.
Hey, that's great. But that's great perspective. There are two things I wanted to say in response to that. Hey, welcome, props, welcome, Brandy and Crypto Ages. Just give me 30 seconds here. I mean, I just really want to keep driving this conversation with Fabriks for a little bit here. But the two things. First one is, I think it'd be great if VeVe can use VeveVerse as another door in to something social, not necessarily something, what do you call it, related to collectibles and stuff. Fabrics dropped. All right, we can come back to that later. But just for the folks here, like, I
By the
wish
way,
there was
sorry,
just an open
Sanjay.
space. Say it again.
You guys joined the wait list. Whoever wants a comic, I just want to make sure. I
Oh
already
shit!
had said it.
Thank you for letting me know, man. I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
want to answer a little bit.
5 minutes. Join the wait list if you want that comic today.
All right, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, it'd be great if VeVe can enable just people coming in. Like, I can have a business meeting in there in a space without toys. Just like maybe some serious artwork on the walls, and I invite people by a link. They come in, they meet me. It's an office, a table, a desk, or whatever. And then there's another space with all my toys, and my family can come in, my cousins and my uncles and aunts and whoever, and I do like chat with them. And there's no pressure to own an NFT or do anything. And when they come in and they see the NFTs, they're like, oh, what the fuck, like, maybe I should have some of these toys too. Like, I'd love to have that artwork. But anyway, all right, so let's go to Crypto AJ, then we'll go to Randy, and then props.
Yeah.
Floor is yours, Crypto AJ.
AJ, you there? So come back to him. Go ahead, Randy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I don't have too long, but thank you, Sandra, for bringing me up. Love that how everyone's been going about the VeveVerse, going on about it. I think that's why we've seen a little bit of a pump in Omi today. It's up like 10% on the day. Any questions?
No, but I was, before you actually, I thought your ears were burning because we're talking about your interview with Dr. Rashid Al Farouk. I thought that guy was amazing. Hey, Crypto AJ, you're back. I guess we'll go to you in 30 seconds here. But that interview was amazing. I thought it was really good, and he's like a big, massive comic guy. He's got 50,000 comics. He's got some, Grail slabs, including two Superman ones graded, maybe lower grades. And he'd be a great guy to kind of to have in our community. Thank you for bringing him in, Randy.
Yeah, he's an amazing dude. He messaged me last night. He's just a big nerd, like we are. We're messaging last night, and he's like, "Hey, I'm watching One Punch Man. What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, that's fun." He obviously had that open invite to Vivi and a couple of us to go to Dubai. He's not sure whether he wants to do that in November or January. Kind of hoping January because November's right after Comic Con and there's right before DCon, but um, he wants there. He said he'll give Vivi like a free booth at his convention. He always has a couple of really fun superstars there.
Yeah.
So I think it's great to have someone like him in our corner. I'm trying to figure out what I talked to him on screen versus off screen. He obviously already has VV. He is currently doing KYC. He'll be buying a decent amount of stuff as soon as he gets KYC done. And I did ask him about Omi, and one of his companies already has some. He'll probably be getting more. He's definitely a big collector, and he holds. So definitely a good addition to the fam.
Yeah, Randy, just want to ask of you, if you can connect him into Sleepin' Comics and Comics and Crypto and all these guys, that would be great, man. I think those would be great interactions. I'd love to see him interviewed on Comics and Crypto, by people that are real comic guys and, like deep hardcore comic guys. And yeah, anyway, we'll go to Crypto AJ now. Sorry, go ahead,
I do have
Randy.
to go. I'm sorry, Crypto, to cut you off. One thing though, way ahead of you on that. He is going to be doing some giveaways with the VV fam via collaborations on Instagram. Stay tuned for that. And thank you for
Awesome.
inviting me up. Bye, guys.
Thanks for that, Randy. Just post on Twitter all that stuff, all right? That'd be great. All right, Crypto AJ. Sorry, man. Sorry to make you wait so long.
Yeah, I had a phone call, so I missed part
Is he
of what
speaking?
was said.
Hey,
Oh,
Sanjay, can
can
you
you
hear
hear
him?
me?
I can't hear him.
Yeah, AJ, gonna have to drop and come back.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, Prop and Viper. Prop go first, and then Viper.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Um, uh, yeah, it seems like Vivi is definitely keeping aware of the social component. I didn't think that they were gonna have the microphone and the voice chat thing in the first version of what they're rolling out, just because of how they were talking about it initially.
And video chat with
Hey,
front view camera.
right, it's pretty crazy, right? So, um, I always said that the way to describe the business is social collecting, right? But like I was saying yesterday, the more we talked about it, the more it seems like they're leaning more towards being a social network that happens to have product, right? And I think if they go that angle and they appeal to creatives, um, I think that's the way to scale it. And I think they know that, right? I think they know that, but that's within all of the stuff that they're getting with the license. You know what I mean? Um, and I think that's like the big picture that a lot of people are missing. And you'll eventually get it. And David was talking about it in the space where they read the Little Prince. Um Alice was talking about it yesterday. Um Brock McBreadcat was talking about it on my post yesterday. Like they're all talking about they're all kind of leaning and saying, yo, like the creative thing is cool, but this is not even it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not the main thing. Like it's cool, right? But and also like for the last time, like I talked to the lead dev at Decon on the VeveVerse, and the creative aspect was not, it was not the main thing. Like, the utility for the collectibles is it's like the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Like creating these environments for your collectibles is the bare minimum of what they envision, right? So I think the social collecting aspect of it, I think, is like the pinnacle of what we're seeing, or not seeing because we haven't seen it yet, but what people are talking about now is like the height of that social collecting thing that I was talking about a while, where you can view your collections together, you can create together, you can buy and sell together, right, and so on. And then there's going to be another layer on top of that with other experiences and stuff like that. So I think that's where we're going.
I don't think anyone's talking. Yeah, prop. Good point, and you're right. They keep. If you pay attention, you're right. They've all said it. David, you said it. Uh, alluded to it in the interview as well with Will and the other dude, and then in that space with Kermit to them, and Alex once again yesterday without saying too much. You can see every time they're like, "This ain't it. This ain't it." Let's
I
go.
agree with that as
Mhm,
well, O'Malley.
mhm.
I think what a great point, props. I mean, just incredible point. I think, beyond social collecting, right? I think it should just be openly social. Like, forget the collecting for a minute. Like, you props in your space, you should be able to have meetings in there, invite your friends into your crib and chat with them, listen to music, play music, hang out, all of that good stuff, maybe some gaming and all that other good stuff too. Even if you're gaming on a different platform, this is available as an open sort of a social space. But, and then if, people suddenly say, hey, but I like that thing, maybe and then the collecting part comes afterwards for some of these newer people, and I think that would be pretty amazing. And I'd be up for that type of drive by. You're more than welcome to drive by into my VeveVerse pad. It's just not to the drop and dump. So we're going to introduce new terminology today: acceptable drive by, or very, not just acceptable,
Let's
very, very
go.
welcome drive by. Welcome drive by. Sorry, Crypto AJ. Sorry, man. You've got up and down twice. Let's go. Turn it over to you.
Um. Okay. My first question um, is Vivi are the items, they collectibles, but are they considered NFTs? It's a two-part question, and it's a two-part question.
Can we let Kaki answer this one? Kaki, go ahead.
Bro, I'm not entertaining that, bro. No. He got it, man.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. The comic is about to drop. Whoever joined the wait list, be prepared. And
The reason I ask is because I always see it like referred to as like collectibles, and I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but looking at how they doing things on the Apple, on the Apple VR set, it make me think like, are they thinking ahead? Whereas though, because we don't even know really how long NFTs will be a thing, as in NFT as a word. It could be totally something else, and maybe they know something that we don't.
Yeah, I
But
think, with NFTs, it's just the word is kind of, not as well received today as collectibles, digital collectibles is.
Right.
So it doesn't mean just because you call it a digital collectible doesn't mean it's not an NFT. It still sits on a layer two Ethereum, and I get the whole point that people make around, but it's not layer one. It's not, you can't put it in your wallet and whatever. But like we don't just those things have been hashed out so many times. But I'm quite
So
happy to think of these as NFTs that are being addressed as digital collectibles,
right.
so it's a lot more appealing to people that are sort of either wary of this whole NFT term, or
Hmm.
just look at it more for what it is as opposed to where it resides. All
So
right, we'll go to
so
Kaki.
the second part of my question was well, it was like more of a statement than a question, but um they bringing it out on the Apple VR, right? Which is going to be like a new headset, and it's going to be, of course, it's going to be super expensive. And I was asking like, why didn't they go like more so the Oculus route, where
It
it's
is on the
the
Oculus today.
it's on the
Yeah,
Oculus
it's your
today.
choice. It's your choice,
Yeah,
bro.
you
Yeah.
have a choice. Not just the Oculus, you have other choices too, brother.
Okay, got you. So that's where the whole thing about um collectibles and NFTs come about. That's why I was asking,
Okay.
because of it being on a new device. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I could do spatial in I had spatial on my Oculus, and my spatial account was connected to my MetaMask wallet, and I had actual, Brian Morris, who's here. Hey, Brian, and Fabrique's NFTs in my MetaMask wallet. That essentially I'd put up in my spatial pad, and if anybody clicked on it, you could buy it with ETH or whatever. So, but anyway, let's go to Kaki, man. Hopefully your question got answered there. Go ahead, Kaki.
Yeah. First off, my apologies, bro. I didn't because it's coming. The trolls are gonna come. I didn't know the way you formatted the question was in troll format. So my apologies for brushing you off, because this is a welcome space. We do want to make sure that everybody's serious questions are taken serious. So if it felt like I was being dismissive about it, I was, but I was under the impression that you was asking for a different reason. But I'm we can clearly answer and say yes, that these are NFTs. And I think the way that VV is wording it as digital collectibles, they are 5 years down the road, because we know that this will be a well adopted. I won't say mass adopted, but there'll be enough people in this space and taking it. The digital world is here. It's not going anywhere. Same as Crypto Crayon said earlier. It's here. Like, the changing of the guard is happening, but there will be a point where we no longer classify these as NFTs. They will just be digital assets and digital collectibles. The NFT is only to, well, I won't even go into that, but that's a word that is using to describe something that has a better description for it, and that will be used in the future. The NFTs will just be a word that Web3 people use to attach it to the blockchain, or to add it. Like, it'll probably go to something else, to a smaller sector of these digital collectibles, even though the vast majority of the digital collectibles that will be out there will be in the NFT format. Um, but I did want to go back to I saw a tweet that, to get on a topic that was touched on earlier. I saw a tweet that uh, Crayons put out. It was a couple of weeks ago, and it was this one dude outside at like a festival. It was two guys outside at a festival, and they was just dancing crazy, just doing all of this stuff, and everybody looking at him like, this motherfucker's weird. Um, and you just see it went on, and they was just out there enjoying themselves and having a good time, and it went on for about a good 30, 45 seconds, and then you saw one other person run in and kind of join in, and they banging around and doing, just enjoying it, and they all kind of throwing their arms and throwing their heads, right? And that's where we are right now when it comes to the VeveVerse. I've read the negative threads that I've seen is like, oh, they think that this is, that this is going to bring the masses in and this, that, and the third. Like, the people that have been here for the past 2 years that have been expecting this, we just ready to experience it and enjoy it for ourselves. I'm not concerned on if this brings in 100,000 people in a year or so. Like, I'm concerned with taking my collection and enjoying it with the people that I've built relationships with over the past 2 years. And the interesting thing that's going to happen is that human nature is going to kick in. If VeVe do this right, humans will do human things. And at the end of that video that Crypto Crayons put up, it was like the entire festival had joined in with these two guys, and they're out there just enjoying themselves. When at first they was looking at them like, look at these two idiots. And then they say, oh, okay, well, 3 people are having fun. That's good enough for me to go try it out. And then it went from 2 people out there dancing and looking crazy to the entire field that was outside had joined in and started enjoying this thing, because now this is another form of entertainment. And I feel like that's the same thing that's going to happen with metaverses in period. And VeveVerse is just the first real fleshed out experience that we'll be able to experience with our own personal NFTs at an extent that no one else has been able to. And we're just ready to experience that. It's not about bringing in the masses. Like, if we're enjoying it and VeVe put out a product that people enjoy and can socialize with it and build relationships with, that's going to happen by default. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Like, we're not, let's just enjoy what they've presented to us, and then everything, and just allow everything else to kind of fall in place. And that's the most important thing about that social thing, because I remember the very, very first VeveVerse that they did and how excited I was. And this was like the first Comic-Con, and they had this crappy rollout that nobody could get onto and log on to in their laptops. And then when they got on it, it was all choppy and stuff, but the excitement was still there. No collectibles. It's just a couple of collectibles sitting on some shelves in a room that you 2 frames a second move towards just to see them. But the excitement that was generated by it, that's what I look at. Like, people was just excited to be running around with their avatars and bumping into people that they have built relationships with in the 2D world, in Twitter, on Facebook. But now they see them in this 3D environment, and they're running around as groups and enjoying this thing. And now we have that 1,000x, you know what I'm saying, compared to where it was 2 years ago when they first rolled it out, to what we're going to be experiencing after this beta is released to the entirety of the collecting space on this VeVe app, man. Like, it's going to be amazing.
Kaki, I don't think those people really understand like the short-term signification of this, right? Once it's finally open, it's not really about the masses. It's, if you're an artist, if you're an NFT artist, if you're Fabrice, if you're Jermaine, if I think rest in peace, Frank Kozik said it best, was when it opens, he's gonna make his own Kozik VeveVerse, where all his toys, his playland is gonna be there. Everybody knows people in VeVe buy. They buy other NFT projects. They just don't buy VeVe. They buy whatever they're really introduced to and they like. So why wouldn't any artist want to build in there, put their NFTs, once you're finally able to and it's open, transport their NFTs in there? I mean, you're not obligated to buy any VeVe collectible, and you already are marketing your NFT to people in the community, because that's the biggest part. Is first you build the community, and then you start building for the community to be able to enjoy the things that they're buying. But these artists like Jermaine Rogers, McPherson, they're gonna have their own space in there. They're gonna be able to showcase their artwork in there, and people are be like, "Hey, you know what? They're gonna hit them up, or they're gonna say, "Hey, how can I get this piece?" And she's gonna lead them the way. Go to OpenSeas, or go here, or go there, or MetaMask, and send me the money, and I'll send you the piece. Whatever. It just opens more avenue for artists to be able to showcase. And now artists can actually go out there and they can even market and say, "Hey guys, come hang out in my pad in the VeveVerse." Because keep in mind, the problem is if you go to Decentraland, it is a ghost town. If you and they've been losing users, they haven't been gaining. I think one of the reports was when they did the New York Fashion Week or the Paris Fashion Week, was people were surprised of how empty it was. And you go to OpenSeas and you go to Blur, both of those companies are fighting for the same user base, so they're literally kind of cannibalizing each other because the space is not growing. So you want to be able to go to a space where there is active users, where people are actually already have a community established. I think that's the biggest part, that these artists will be promoting their stuff in the VeveVerse and bringing in other people in the NFT space to come and hang out in the pad, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I want to open my own pad." Now, eventually, you'll have some people that say, "Hey, you know what? I like X-Men. I'll buy this," or "I like Spider-Man. I'll buy that." But because it's not token gated and people can have their own VeveVerse, it's it's kind of big, man. When you look at it on the artist side and bringing more people in from the NFT side, as opposed to mass adoption from the physical side, that will eventually come. But it's I think artists have been looking for a place to showcase their work, and where there's actual people that are active in there. I think Ms. Gex said it best yesterday. Is like people come to Space Show and they're not sure what to do in there, or what to put in there. And I mean, you already have people here that have collections, and they've been dying for to do something else other than to buy and sell. So
I met Ron English sometime back in Dallas. Omi Homies, myself, Crypto Cop, a bunch of us. He did a massive mural in Dallas, and at the time, we hung out with him for a little bit, and he talked a little bit about. He didn't say VeveVerse or anything, but he said, "Look, digitally, he's looking to build Delusionville." He has this sort of fantasy land called Delusionville, in which there's all these characters, and each of those characters have a song associated with them that he's written, and they're called rabbits with three B's, RABBITS. And he talked about a land where you would go underground. Digitally you would go underground, and then this whole space and stuff. um, and then the next thing I realized, maybe about 2 weeks back, or maybe 2 months back, he did some kind of a space in Europe where he completely redid the interior of this gallery with, you know, his characters and stuff. It's not just one character. The whole, it was almost like when you go into Rainforest Cafe, there's like this whole wall, and it looks like that, with all his characters and stuff. And then a week back or 2 weeks back, he posted something on Instagram. It was a nightclub like environment where it was completely decked out in his characters, and they were live. It's almost like mascots during the game, right? Wearing those character suits and stuff. So, I mean, look, Ron English, pretty big on Vivi, man. Not saying it's happening, but I would love to see it happen. Yeah, dude. And I think all the other artists too, right? Like Mumbat could do Ghost World or Ghost Club with all her characters, Shroomy and this, that, and the other. Everybody, like all these artists have their characters. Even like Jermaine has some of his characters, right?
I mean, Sanya is free, right? Why wouldn't they? It's free marketing to be able to bring in your own NFTs into the app and be able to showcase your
Yeah,
collection. That's insane.
yeah. Or Disneyland, right? Disney could do it too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
artists and Disney too.
it's
You could have
insane.
like different.
And another thing that they could do in these spaces from these artists, they can showcase because we've seen collectibles showcased by David from I'm talking from 3 years ago that haven't been released. So if they have like a up and coming drop, and you wanted to visit, let's say Mombot's space, and she may have what her next drop is going to be, maybe not a release date on it, but just have a piece that's sitting and hanging on the wall or sitting on a desk when you walk through, and you're like, you know, and you see what it looks like in the space, and that'll kind of generate people, you know, wanting to buy it and stuff like that. Like it's so much stuff that they can do that we don't even know is a thing because we're charting I mean we're navigating uncharted territory as far as in the collector space and how to set up you know how the setup is going to be is going to go, man. Like it's so much stuff that VeVe with the way that they've rolled it out, the way that they have the setup with all the IPs and stuff. There's so many different ways that this thing could go off in a lot of different, and I think it'll go off in a many different branches of entertainment. It'll be something for everyone. Like it's
No, I'm telling you, these art
yeah, bro.
Kaki,
It's
they don't
gonna be
even need to
nice,
have a
bro.
VV drop, man. They just they showcase their artwork. Just hey, come here and chill in my pad. We're gonna do a night talking about art, and there you go. It's just hey, I'm gonna hit you up. How much is this piece? Let's connect. You know, it's dude. It's
So let me add one more point to this. This conversation, very interesting one. You know, I've been on VV almost 2 years. My 2 year anniversary is coming up August 24th, and I've been buying stuff on VV for a long time. And as the markets fell, as the audiences would lower and smaller and whatever, there are certain drops where I would look at a collectible and say, hey, or a poster and say, hey, this is $30. Would I spend this money in the real world for a toy like this or like a poster like this? And especially things like that Tarzan NFT, and I haven't put it in VeveVerse or anything, so this is not specific insider any kind of specific thing here, or not pumping any bag. I only want to do with those. But anyway, the intrinsic value to me was, if I were to buy this toy physically of vinyl one or something like that, what would it be? This price feels slightly expensive or something. But having experienced VeveVerse in terms of how much more these collectibles are displayable, meaning it doesn't look like what you put in the vault. What you see in the app when you put in the vault, when you bring it in here, there's more dimensionality, more texture, more, it's just, there's more to it. And then that ability to kind of socially display it, the amount of the intrinsic value of that collectible in my mind has gone up by adding a utility where now I can display it and it manifests in a different manner, and also in a manner in which I can, like, my friends can see it. When Rolly came into my space, I felt kind of proud to pull out that partner statue that had this whole gold shining and stuff, right? And similarly, the Thor one as well. And so I think intrinsic value in my head went up. I mean, obviously, people who don't care about VeveVerse or any kind of metaverse, to them, a poster is a poster. It is what you see is what you get. But if the usage of it goes up, intrinsic value goes up. And at least it's changed a little bit of my thinking. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
Agreeing on if how it's looking affect how we feel purchasing the item.
Yeah, I was listening to what you were saying. I was just multitasking. I don't know if anybody else was speaking. I don't know if I'm cutting out or somebody is. Do you hear me?
All good, man. I'm just yeah, put
Yeah, you're
it
Okay.
good.
on mute because I'm having breakfast here. But go ahead.
No, I get what you're saying too when it comes to like I'm not trying to do the same thing like pump any collectibles or anything like that, but it's the same deal as as the regular vault when it comes to like what can it do or whatever. It's just obviously it's a whole new level, but you know what can it do? What does it look like? What kind of scene you can make? Those are different aspects that it's not really common, but when you put it in an environment like this, it just makes things pop a lot more, if that makes any sense. So instead of just showing Iron Man on AR or whatever and only on video, this is something you can actually experience with, say, goggles or whatnot, right? Yeah, the VR headsets, and you can actually walk up to it. It gives you the feeling that you're walking up to something, and an actual statue, and you're looking up at it, and it's crazy. You're actually walking around as if there's an actual statue right there. So it definitely gives you depth, and it makes you consider what to purchase, if that makes any sense. For me personally, like you know, it's the same deal as what I would do in the vault. If it's cool, I'm gonna get it. That's just how I roll with that. And you just get what you like. And some people don't like animation. Maybe they just like the posters. But even just with the posters, like he was saying, there's texture. There's a little bit more depth now. So like everything's just more enhanced. And I feel like, and this is the beginning too. So I'm just, man, just wait for the next levels to come. It's gonna be crazy.
I just think it's big because it gives us something to do with our collectibles other than buy and sell. And I think I look at, and I don't own this yet, so I don't want anybody to say pumping or anything. I'm like, how cool would it be to put a T Rex up there that's making noise and animated? Have a little area where it's just dinosaurs and shit like that. I mean, that's just my mind where it goes to. Like, I changed the way I buy now because it's like I want to put stuff, how cool it would look putting stuff together that I wasn't looking at before.
Yeah, man. I think people got to be. Wait, is anybody talking? I'm not talking over anybody, right?
Nope. Go ahead,
Now
Prof.
you're good.
Because I see some microphones off. It's just probably a glitch, but I think people have to be careful with values. I still think that the value of these things are heavily tied to Vivi and the brand of Vivi, the perception of what it is, not the individual collectible or asset itself. I still don't think that we've transitioned fully from like Vivi is just this agnostic exchange and the collectibles have value completely on their own. I don't think we're there yet. So in the future, as we bring new people in and new people come for the creative aspect or the so or
You're cutting off.
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, or the whether they come for the social thing or the events for the IP or and the metaverse and stuff like that. I don't expect those people to get and understand the ridiculous values of some of these things. So like if stuff is sitting on the floor for $2, cool, or $10, and it's like, oh, I can get a Batman for $5 or $10, cool, or this comic that is in digital format now and it's $5. Okay, I can buy that. But like, but if you're expecting people to come here from different worlds, from gaming, from AAA gaming, and for them to understand that the value of these things are expensive all on their own, and to understand and have perception of what it means to have 30,000 editions or 3,000 editions compared to the field, that takes a while, right? So I think that's going to be there's going to be a learning curve of value if people are coming to Vivi or VeveVerse for different reasons other than collecting. So, so just be aware of that. Like, just because masses will come here doesn't mean that they're going to understand why your bags are worth what they are, right? That might be that might take time, and not all things are going to be valuable. Like, just because, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, just be careful that what you're buying for what reason, because I think the people that are gonna give you value for what you have, to me, is still tied to what that individual thinks of the brand of VP itself.
I agree, props. I mean, I think there's still the economics of VV, and all of this is tied to the perception of VV and that whole brand, right? Because a lot of us are here cause of VV anyway. Not like we're not just going there to buy something. Like you don't know what VV is and just buying something, right? I don't think that exists. Uh, which is sort of in the physical world. Sometimes you may not even remember the store that you bought or the person that you bought. Like a Todd statue from, right? Like I honestly don't even remember who the hell I bought it from. The physical ones. So you're right. All right, good stuff, guys. I've had the space open for a long time. I, was quite excited yesterday. The space ran, for quite long. I was in spaces and on VeveVerse till like past midnight, and I woke up early this morning and I started the space. I want to say thank you to everybody who came here, spoke, who co-hosted, Queen Vivi, O'Malley, VV Wallmaster. Thank you very much. Props, Mask, Viper, Kaki. Thank you very much, Kaki. Really appreciate what you've been sharing. And look, I'll close this by just saying, fantastic progress by the company. I'm very excited, and you guys know me. When I'm unhappy, or when I don't think something's good, you'll hear it. I think you heard it in the last couple of weeks. With the whole drive-by thing. So I'm not, like if I'm unhappy with something, I'll say it the way I see it. And this one, not only am I, happy, I'm super excited. I genuinely mean it, man. It's like a bottle of champagne that's just been shaken up and just ready to completely explode, man. That's kind of my level of enthusiasm, excitement
Hey,
here.
yo.
Yeah, fair. Thank you, Sanjay, for opening the space, and shout out to Prop and Kaki too, because after that space with Tails that was not closing, and there was still 300 people by the time he had to close it. Prop opened up a space to keep it going, Sanjay, and there was still 100 people in there
Yeah.
until 2 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
That's when I left, at least. And as I'm about to turn off my phone, Fabriks comes up, and I'm like, God. But yeah,
Yeah.
salute everyone, man. Salute
Yeah,
everyone
thanks,
for real.
Props. Thanks for Breeks,
Yeah.
J Beast. Like a lot of people came up and spoke. Dive Jedi. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. He hung out with Shepard Ferry for 4 days while he was doing stuff, and he got stuff signed and stuff. Mahalo, Crypto